Testing, testing. Okay, yeah, we're good to go.
Do we have a big round of applause for our city clerk, Alicia Gonzalez? Thank you very much. We now call to order this special meeting of the Madera City Council. Tonight is Wednesday, December the 13th, 2023. It is now 6:48 p.m. The Madera City Council meetings are open to the public. This meeting is also available for public viewing and participation through Zoom. Members of the public may also observe the live stream meeting on the city's website at www.madera.gov/live. Members of the public may comment on agenda items at the meeting or remotely through an electronic meeting via phone by dialing 669-900-6833, enter ID 838-2155, 7852 hashtag. Comments will also be accepted via email at City Council Public Comment at madera.gov or by regular mail at 205 West 4th Street, Madera, California, 93637. I hereby call this meeting of the Madera City Council, special meeting of the Madera City Council to order at 6:49. Alicia, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Garcia,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gallegos.
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Here.
Councilmember Montes.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Mejia.
Here.
And Councilmember Villegas.
Here. On advice of our city attorney, we can skip the approval of the agenda, or unless someone has an objection to that. Good. Thank you very much. We will now move on to public comment. Members of the public shall have an opportunity to address the city council regarding matters on this agenda at the time the agenda item is called. Speakers should limit their comments to 3 minutes. Are there any members of the public wishing to comment under public comment at this time?
And Mr. Mayor, this would be for items that are not on the agenda, so this would be not related to cannabis at this time.
Thank you for that clarification.
Good evening. Good evening, council members. My name is Joanna Torres. And my public comment is directed to council members. I think it's unethical for anyone to participate if they receive donations from any of the applicants. I know at the last meeting, there was discussion about that, about who knows who, and no one recused themselves, but it is public record, individuals who have received donations. And so even if it's not illegal, it's very unethical. So I would just ask that they can reconsider whether they're really going to participate, knowing that they receive donations from applicants. It's just not setting a good example for the community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, once you've closed public comment, I'd be delighted to respond to that question.
Okay, thank you. Any further public comment? Seeing none, are there any? Yes, there are written comments.
Yes, Mayor, we received written public comment. Those comments have been emailed to council. Copies have also been printed and provided to council. Copies have also been printed and they are at the podium for the public to view if they wish.
We will now close. Seeing no other public comment either at the podium or written or in Zoom, then we will now close public comment.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Shannon,
may.
would you please?
Yes, there was a question as to whether or not campaign donations would require recusal. The state legislature has set the rules for that, and they have very clearly defined what qualifies and what doesn't. And as long as it's been disclosed and is properly booked for campaigns, which was done in the present situation, there is not a conflict based on timing. There are some circumstances where that may be the case, but under state law, as determined by the state legislatures, it is not present in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shannon. We will now move on to item A, petitions, bids, resolutions, ordinances, and agreements. Item A1 is the City Council interviews for Phase 4 of the Commercial Cannabis Business CCB permit application process and consideration of a resolution adopting notice of award of CCB permits to standard retail or micro business applicants. Mr. Tackett, do you have this item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem Gallegos, Council Members Will Tackett, Community Development Director. Staff does not have a presentation for the council this evening. We do wish to report one update to our council report for the proceedings this evening. Staff has received a communication from the owner of OTC Madera LLC off the charts, formally withdrawing their application from consideration. They are number 6 in your order this evening, and we can skip them and move on to the next. That's all I have for you, and I'm available to answer any questions the council may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Although we have checked at the last meeting, we will again ask the questions regarding recusals and declarations. Are there any council members who need to recuse themselves from item A1 on our agenda? Hearing none, seeing none. Sir, did you want to say something? This is asking if you have anything to declare under cannabis, or if you need to recuse yourself from the discussion and the presentation.
No.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none, we'll move on. Are there any from my fellow council members, are there any other, even though we have checked at our last meeting, are there any additional disclosures from our last meeting that you discussed and disclosed at the last meeting? Are there any further disclosures that you would like to add? Anything you might have missed at the last meeting? I want to include under my disclosures, once reviewing the applicants at our last meeting, I have met with several other new cannabis companies from 2021 until now. I believe the last one was in 2021, but they are as follows. I just want to make sure we cover them all, which would be Jiva, MAE, E7, East of Eden, Mainstream, Lavish, Embark, Stiltsy, and Culture. So since they're not named individually as representatives under the presentations, it wasn't until I actually saw folks making presentations that I actually recognized them from having previous meetings. So I wanted to make sure that we put it on the record that at different times from 2021, that I did meet with some of these folks, and I have had discussions with them regarding cannabis. But again, this would not impede my responsibility to make a full disclosure and or make a decision. And I have no biases toward any one organization, nor will I vote in favor of any organization because of those discussions that I had at that time.
Mayor, I'd like to add that after Rochelle Noblake presented at the city council meeting this past year, we did have a telephone conversation just expanding on what she was presenting to the city council meeting. This information was available to the public. It was live streamed, so it wasn't anything that was not already presented.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Seeing no further comments from any of my colleagues, we'll move on. So this is the process we will take on tonight. The city council will interview applicants. I anticipate calling the applicants in order they are listed in the staff report. After the interviews, then the matter will be opened up for public comment. This is an opportunity for the general public, as well as any applicant who did not reach this stage in the process, to address the council Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. After public comment is closed, the council will then discuss and deliberate as appropriate. And then finally, the council will either take action to award permits or will continue the matter to the next regular meeting of December the 20th to address the awarding of these permits. So you have made your presentation as of now, Will. Are there any questions by the council for city staff? Then we will now start.
I have a question.
Yes.
I'd like to get some clarification on how the residency was determined for Madera residents.
Neither the department director nor I was involved in the interview process. Instead, the city retained a company known as HDL to make that determination and go through that process. HDL did the evaluation, did the background reports and checks. Everybody was given an opportunity, if they disagreed with the findings, to make an appeal. There were certain candidates that did make an appeal. Some appeals were upheld, some were not. The stage 2 results were posted on the city's website. And as part of that, you can't retroactively change the results with regards to the scoring for residency. And as a part of that, the city put on its website that those were the unupdated results. So I believe there are 2 candidates that were here this evening who did meet the residency requirements upon appeal and subsequent review. And they were rated accordingly for the purposes of drawing their priority on the list that you have this evening. So they did receive credit for that. And I believe that they may have also mentioned it. But as to the exact details of how that's done, I am not certain. I know the HDL has the guidelines. You can't be like a 0.5% owner and claim that you're a Madera business when 99% of your, the business is owned by somebody outside the city.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, Shannon,
Awesome.
could you step up here first? Let me ask you this real quickly.
We had a meeting before, so good catch.
Because this has put a little bit more regarding the board. Show. Yeah, I would read this one for this portion. Then that would be after this, right? So this is. So it's. Okay, so they're here. Alrighty. Then we will now move on to our next question. We will now start with presentations by applicants. If you are an applicant who qualified to proceed to this final round, then this is your opportunity to address the city council. I want to remind the applicant.
Mr. Mayor, I think you may have the wrong one. This is the interview process.
Okay.
Would you like? I have a copy.
If you have another copy there. And it's just up to just that one paragraph. We will now start with interviews of the applicants. When your name is called, please come to the dais and state your name. Council members may then ask you questions. This process is not timed, but we ask that you make your responses short and to the point. If we feel like we need more information, then we will ask the questions. At the conclusion of the interview, I will call the next applicant and you may take your seat. If you are the next applicant in the line, please be ready and line up in the aisle by the podium when the applicant before you is called. With that in mind, I will call the first applicant, Hazy Bulldog Farms. Please come forward and state your name for the record.
Hello, Jeff and Courtney Musio with Hazy Bulldog Farms.
Mr. Mayor, now as you stated, now is the opportunity for the city council to ask any questions that they may have of the applicant. I'm not sure if you would just want to have people key up if they have any questions or start on one side or the other. It is not required that the city council ask questions if there's already been some applications, some presentations tonight. And that should not be taken by anyone if there's no questions asked of certain applicants, either for or anything. That shouldn't be implied. Doesn't imply anything. It just means that the council doesn't have any questions. So, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you want to have people key up or let's see if anybody has any questions, and we'll just
Okay.
keep on going through the applicants.
So then we'll ask, does any of my colleagues have any questions? If you do, please acknowledge. It seems we have no questions. You may step down.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next is Herbs LLC. And please be ready to come to the podium as soon as we're called. BAM Body and Mind is next, so be ready after this. Followed by Jiva.
Good evening. Sadiq Alamari.
Again, do we have any questions for Herbs LLC? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Trip Hoffman, and this is Phil Lewis, and we're with Body and Mind.
Thank you. Any of my colleagues have any questions for Body and Mind?
I have a question, Mayor.
Mhm.
Can you go over I believe it was a 5% gross sale? Can you go over that again?
Yeah, the concept is that we're gonna donate 5% of the gross sales to the city to use it in whatever way they want, capped at $100,000 per year. The idea is to get the city their money first and get it upfront early in the year. So.
Okay, that was my only question.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Jiva, followed by E7.
Good evening. I'm Bonique Emerson,
I'm Sarah Martinez.
and we also have someone joining us via Zoom.
Thank you.
Yes.
Does anyone of my colleagues have any questions for this group for E7? Seeing none, thank you very much.
And this is Jiva, just making sure.
I'm sorry, Jiva. Sorry.
Good evening, Josh Black from Element 7.
Does anyone have any comments or questions for this group E7?
I just have,
Councilmember Montes.
I just had one question. I know you had mentioned that you did have a local ownership. What was that? Can you elaborate on that local ownership?
Yeah, we had a gentleman, Kevin Massetti, who is a local. He owns Madera Blinds and Shutters, a local company, lives in the city, and he's part of the ownership team with 4 other individuals.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Next up is Off the Charts, followed by East of Eden.
Mr. Mayor, Off the Charts has withdrawn their application.
Oh, that's correct. I did make that. East of Eden, followed by Nectar.
Oh, Mike Batar, East of Eden.
Thank you.
Pardon me.
That's fine.
Excited to be up here.
That's okay. Any of my colleagues have any questions with East of Eden? Councilwoman Rodriguez.
Mr. Mayor, so question is, how many other dispensaries do you operate?
Currently, we operate 5 other dispensaries, majority of them high volume, all located in similar communities to Madera, Salinas, parts of San Jose, Union City, Boondale, and God willing, this store as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Is anyone here from Nectar? Seeing none, Zen Garden followed by Dispo. Zen Garden?
Good evening, Corey Travis and Anthony Hicks for Zen Garden.
Thank you. Are there any questions from my colleagues for Zen Garden? No?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving right along, Dispo followed by Sugar Pine.
I'm Rochelle Noblet, the local owner for Dispo, and I'm with David and Mike, my partners.
Thank you very much. Do my colleagues have any questions for Dispo?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. So the question is, and let me rephrase that, since the application date, and I should have added this here, how many businesses or retail dispensaries does the organization have running at this time?
Answer that.
Currently one in San Francisco, which Mike is the chief operator of.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. Sugar Pine, followed by Haven.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm Ed Mike Alamari, sole owner of Sugar Pine 559 Inc.
Thank you. Again, I will ask my colleagues if they have any questions for Sugar Pine. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Alamari. I couldn't help but notice on your previous presentation, you mentioned you operate several businesses that are not cannabis related. If I may ask, how do you propose on operating a business that I don't know if you have any experience there, but I'd like to ask if you have, how would you manage having a successful business that you currently have? I believe I heard you say something ag. Seems like you do pretty well there. How would you then transition to operate a dispensary?
Like I said before, I'm very hands-on with any business that I run. Any of my employees can tell you that. I don't really have managers or supervisors or stuff like that. It would come from a core of, stabilizing my time to ensure that I can dedicate myself to getting the business open and running and hiring good staff. As far as the logistics of it, we do have an attorney already that we've been utilizing since the start. We do have consultants as well that we have been utilizing. And then we have existing relationships that we wish to leverage to assist the business as well. So that includes, I think I mentioned last time, distributors, and then we also already have actually the construction company for the remodel. So we're working as if we're going to work right through the next year.
Thank you, Mr. Elmar.
No problem.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. Next up is Haven. We didn't have Haven in anyone last time. I don't see anyone here. Mainstream followed by Lavish.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, everyone. My name is Rico Saldivar, CEO of Mainstream Madera, along with partners George Zaleja and Adam Hijazi. And we have our board members here as well, Chris Arias and Dan Riley and Alex Salazar as well.
So I'll open it up for comments or questions from my colleagues for Mainstream.
Yes, thank you. Mayor Garcia, I did want to apologize. I think on the previous meeting, I did refer to you as Mainstream Media. I apologize for that.
We caught that.
That's the name that comes up quickly, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, we also got that at the Christmas parade.
Oh, did you?
As well. So, but
Well,
I was out there screaming,
My apologies. I want to make sure that I refer to you as the name. It's Mainstream.
Madera.
Madera, thank you. And with that, I'll ask a question similar to what I asked before. I'm asking because I want to know the validity of your operation experience when it comes to dispensaries and or cannabis. So any other stores that you're currently operating since the application date?
In regards to dispensaries, I'll defer to my partner, Adam Hijazi.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Attorney's Office. Adam Hijazi, I'm the Chief Operating Officer. So yes, we've been in the cannabis industry since 2009. We've helped really draft not only a lot of legislation, but operations kind of predating before state legalization. And now we currently operate and have 3 dispensaries, 2 cultivations, 1 distribution. And, we have a whole sort of experience really just operating retails. That's what we've been doing for the last 13 years. And I feel very strong of the ability with the team and their other business experience to be able to really bring an amazing team and understand the issues on day one and not really be in a place where we're trying to figure out what we're going to do, but we already know we've been through a lot. And anything that comes our way, we can be able to figure it out as well. So I'm not going to say we know everything, but we have so much experience that I feel like on day one, we'll be able to hit the ground running.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Mejia.
Thank you, Mayor. Have you or any affiliated business received any cannabis complaints from neighbors within the last 12 months?
No, I work really close with the city prosecutor's office. We also formed a association, which I hope to hopefully be able to do here in the city. We work close with the city prosecutor's office. Our whole entire industry, for the most part, has been very effective in working with city council, and we helped create those parameters to be able to have those open types of dialogues. So we haven't had any cannabis complaints or any of those things. We've really flushed a lot of those things out years ago, and we do that through community, dealing with the community and the leaders in the community, understanding the issues, city leaders as yourself, police department, fire department, and really just incorporate that into what we do on a daily basis. So we don't have any complaints whatsoever or violations.
And just for clarification, this is in regard to the proposed site, right?
I was talking about our other operations because this operation does not do any cannabis right now. Are you talking the one here in Madera?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is closed. I don't believe we've had any violations or any complaints about here, and also other operations as well.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We now have Lavish. And if we can make sure that we are away from the doors, we're not blocking the doors, I appreciate that. There are some empty seats. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Akram Kasim. These are my brothers Naif and Eddie. Naif and Hani, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous being up here. I don't do this often. I'm behind a register all day. And we are Lavish.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the group from Lavish? Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, Mr. Akram and your brothers, I wanted to ask a similar question in regards to the cannabis industry. So I understand that you operate other businesses and that's kind of some of your pluses, but how do you plan on managing a dispensary of this size here?
Definitely. My partners and I have years and years of retail experience, but we understood that we were lacking in the cannabis industry experience. So we brought in an operating partner, which is Kenneth Churchill from West Coast Cannabis. He's the owner and he operates 5 dispensaries at the moment. And he has a vertically integrated site in Palm Desert.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Excuse me, hold on a second.
Okay,
We have a late entry with Councilwoman Mejia.
What would be the starting wage for a Lavish employee in Madera?
Yeah, for the starting wage, we use the MIT calculation for living wages, and that would be $22 an hour.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, we have a hand raised from one of our callers. I'm not sure if they were part of Lavish. No?
Well, Kenneth is on YouTube. He's an operating partner, but I don't think he needs to be.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to Cali Oz Madera, followed by Herbs and Joy. And followed by Cannibal. So if you could prepare yourself.
Good evening, Council. Hirsch Jane with Cali Oz Madera.
Ask my colleagues, are there any questions for Calios Madera? Councilwoman Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. Just one question really fast. Where are you based out of?
So we're a Michigan-based company with 4 dispensaries there, and this will be our first California location.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. That's all.
Thank you. Seeing no further hands raised, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will now move on to Urban Joy. I don't believe they participated last time. And then we will move on to Cannibal, followed by Embark.
Cannibal, Norman Allender here with Phil Fagundes and Delia. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes. I'll ask a question is regarding the dispensaries, cannabis. I'll wait till it settles down. How many do you operate at this moment?
I'll have Mr. Fagundes handle that.
Good evening. We directly operate 3 stores, and then we indirectly operate 3 or 4 others. But us direct everything, doing everything, 3 stores. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Mejia.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is the same as the other applicant. Have you or any affiliated business in the proposed site? Have you received any complaints from neighbors within the last 12 months?
No, not at this site. We haven't. In fact, we have spoke to our neighbors there, obviously, but no, we've ensured that we don't have any issues, but no, we have not had any problems with our neighbors.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. We will now move on to Embark, followed by Stizzy. I'm sorry, did you have?
Just in general.
Okay,
right
Councilmember Gallegos.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. I just want to make it very clear to the next 3 applicants. I did have to leave and I do apologize for Saturday. I did watch it on video, so I'm aware of your presentations. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Will Oliver, local owner of Embark Madera.
Dustin Moore, owner of Embark as well.
Devin Wardlow, VP of Public Affairs.
Thank you. Do any of my colleagues have any questions to Embark?
Yes. Since the application date, have you had any new dispensaries and how many do you operate now?
So we operate 9 dispensaries, and in since the application, I believe we've opened 4 or 5 stores.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. Dizzy?
Good evening,
I still have trouble pronouncing that.
Stizzy. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council members. My name is Tak Sato. I'm here with Stephen Chow and Frank Sanchez.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'll ask the same question. Since the application date, how many stores do you operate?
I believe we've opened probably between 20 and 23, probably around 20 stores since the application was submitted about 1.5 years ago.
Within this region, if you don't mind me asking?
Within this region, we have not opened a store recently, and that's part of the reason why we're very interested.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, thank you very much. Last and not least, Culture Cannabis Club.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and residents. My name is Devin Julian. I'm the CEO of Culture Cannabis Club. With me, we have fellow owners Breggie McCoy, Chief of Communications, and then local partners Julian and Crystal Dominguez.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We'll open it up to my colleagues for questions regarding culture. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you. Again, I'll ask the question is how many stores or dispensaries do you have since the application?
It's tough. It's been a couple of years. So since the application, I'm not sure exactly how many we've added, about 5 or 6, but I can tell you currently we're operating 12 current retail facilities, 4 cultivation, 1 distribution, 1 manufacturing. We're going to be opening 2 stores in Fresno, one as early as next Friday, and then the other, God willing, before the end of the year, if not a couple weeks after that. Since the application's been submitted with in the area, we did open in Porterville, and then the other 2 in Fresno that will be coming up here soon.
Thank you.
No problem. And then in addition to that, we've got 5 others in build out, and then several others that are in various phases of CUP entitlements and construction permits.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, Mayor, was that?
Yes,
oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
said thank you, and I wasn't sure if you want us to stay or if that was we're all finished up.
You notice that this is the first time for all of us dealing with this issue, and it's problematic, but we'll get through it. Believe me.
Absolutely,
So
not a
bear
problem.
with us, and thank you for your patience.
Absolutely.
All righty. So all the applicants have been interviewed. Thank you, Councilwoman Evans. Did you say you're dismissed? Is that what you said? You're dismissed. All the applicants have been interviewed. Are there any further questions for my colleagues for any of the applicants?
Yeah, I have a question, Mayor, and this might apply to some and not others, but I wanted to have more explanation about some applicants were talking about the volunteer programs. I wanted to hear about the liability that would bring, or who would, I guess, like, would absorb that liability in addition to the paid hours. Is there other components that either the city or who would be liable for that? And these were the paid volunteer programs that several applicants mentioned.
Perhaps I could help address some of that question. If that's okay, Council.
Yeah.
Yes. So with regards to volunteer programs, it depends on who they're volunteering with. They may have agreements in order to waive liability or take on liability. Sometimes the cities will have volunteer waivers. So if you participate in a city program and are volunteering and you get hurt or something, the city doesn't have to cover that. Some don't. The paid hours, that would be something that would be individually responsible for each business in order to do that. It would not be a liability and they would not be city employees, they'd be volunteers. As to the exact details for each one, you would probably have to ask the individual applicants.
Yeah.
Is there any specific one you wanted to?
No, so the question was for anyone who spoke about those programs, and I do believe there's an applicant that's trying to answer the question.
Mr. Mayor, if I may then, in order to make sure everybody can hear, perhaps all those who have been responsive to that particular question can just line up in a queue and announce their name and just give a 30-second response to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would you like us to repeat that? If you could just repeat that real quick, Shannon, before we begin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, if your program and community benefit involves community volunteer hours or paid employee hours towards volunteerism, please just go ahead and line up, announce your name, tell us exactly who's going to be having liability for the volunteers and how they're going to be paid, and then go to the next person who will announce their name and do the same thing.
Mike Matar, East of Eden. This is a program we're already running in our other stores. We're pledging 150 hours per year. And in the other stores, what we do is we make sure our workers' comp and our liability insurance knows about where they're volunteering in advance. And before they volunteer, the employee, of course, gets paid through us, as well as the workers' comp. They're covering it, and whatever type of volunteering. So in certain areas, we have like the air show. So knowing they're directing traffic, so it's a higher workers' comp code, and on that code specific, knowing how many hours we donate for that. But we've done it before. This is our first rodeo, which by the way, we donate to the Salinas Rodeo every year as well. But yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Sadiq Alamari, Herbs LLC. The way we're going to carry all the liability. We're going to encourage all of our employees to take any volunteer work with any organizations that they want around the city to commit to those hours and bring that to us, and we will pay them for the hours. The city will have no liability. Our workman's comp, and we're liable for all that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Josh Black, Element 7. Short answer is the company pays at regular hours. If they're working overtime, they'll be paid that as well. The liability is covered by us. We work with State Fund Workers' Compensation. We've had this conversation with them before, and as a company, we cover the workers' comp and the liability insurance. And we're already running this program, for instance, at our local Fireball store, just a short drive away. Staff are allowed there to select which charity they want to work for, what nonprofit. That could either be desk work or it could be field work, depending on what the nonprofit requires. Some of them need help with business plans, others need boots on the ground, but we're pretty flexible on allowing our staff to select who they want to do that with because they're all passionate about something locally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Toxado Stizzy again. Under our global collective bargaining agreement, our employees get 16 hours of paid time off per year to volunteer. We've done this in the 34 other stores where we've already have operations, and it's been a huge success for us. And as far as the liability, it's with the company, as everyone else has mentioned, and our liability and workers' comp covers the liability as well. Thank you.
Evening, Norman Allender with Greenbrier. As I said the other day, Greenbrier already pays for my time to do volunteerism in this community. They do not have a cap. Many of you see me at many events, and if it's on the weekend, I charge them time and a half. So they do have workman's comp. It is covered. So seriously, all the employees will be available to do so. No, the city will be completely held harmless in this, and we think it's a wonderful thing, just like the others. But like we said, Greenbrier already pays for my time off. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Phil Lewis with BAM Body and Mind, and we offer 40 hours of paid volunteer service to each employee. And so we would do that in Madera. As far as liability, we as well carry workers' compensation as well as liability insurance coverage. We do this at other locations, and typically we coordinate with our insurance agent to hold these events. And at times, if there's another organization involved or the property owner of the specific place that we're holding the volunteer event, we will actually name them as additional insured as well as the property so that they're covered in case of any liability. And so we hold ourselves as completely liable in those situations. Thank you.
Pardon me, what group were you with again?
Body and Mind.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Rochelle Noblet and David Nola from Dispo. And this is something that I've always done with my employees through Pete's Sports Shop. I had all of my employees coached every kind of team there was. They were always paid for it. They were always covered under our liability and our workman's comp. And this would be the same type of thing.
Yeah. I'd like to add too, we've had some situations where we've entered into indemnification and release of claim liability agreements with whatever agency or body of the government that we are dealing with in order to further protect as well.
Thank you.
Devin Julian with Culture Cannabis Club. So similar, I think, to what Stizzy is talking about. What we offer it similar to like a paid time off, kind of no questions asked. So you submit for the 8 hours that are offered per year per person for that paid volunteer hours. So you just submit it, it's on your check, it's carried throughout the year, same as sick time or PTO. We also carry similar insurances, liability insurance, workers' comp insurance, and everything like that. So all liabilities for any of those, anything that's organized by the business would fall on us. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Corey Travis, Zen Garden Wellness. I think that was a really good question because a lot of people are really excited to do good and to give back to the community, and they don't think about the other side. And just to echo what the other applicant said, which was right on, workers' comp, liability insurance. And, this is part of the reason it takes a little bit of legwork to set up these events to give back. Zen Garden Wellness Madera has identified a 300 hours of paid time off to do that. And, really our mission statement is to do no harm. So thinking about the liability side and putting the appropriate insurance in place ahead of those events is something that our team does. And we have a history of doing in our almost 12 years of operation. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Akram Kasim with Lavish Madera. 100% of our employees are unionized through the UFCW, and we will assume all liability through our insurance company for their volunteer hours and 100% compensation as well. So the city won't have to worry about that, not liability or wage. We have that covered. Thank you.
Good evening again, Dustin Moore with Embark. Just kicking it off with respect to liability, absolutely workers' comp insurance. Additionally, I believe that our general liability insurance will name the city for our operations at the business itself. However, for any offsite activities, we will get additional policies as required, naming any additional insureds. But I think, speaking to the ethos of why we do this has been built in our DNA. We are one of just a handful of companies here tonight that have a collective bargaining agreement across our entire fleet. So all 9 stores and 250 plus employees are under, a living wage and actually have a career path. We don't see these just as jobs. We really do see what we're able to bring to a community as something that creates upward mobility for so many people. As part of our collective bargaining agreement, we have gone above and beyond some of the basic paid volunteerism, and we offer every single employee in our entire fleet 40 hours of paid volunteerism every single year. And we encourage them to do that because it's one thing to just, to post that, but we actually in our job boards, or not a job board, sorry, in our kitchen in each of our stores, we post volunteer opportunities, and we do encourage folks to do that. And part of the volunteerism is tied back directly to our community advisory board. So whether that's in South Lake Tahoe with the Boys and Girls Club or in Fairfield with the Police Activities League, we have our community partners able to post any available opportunities. And these are things that are discussed in our advisory board meeting. So when our community advisory board, meets, that's headed up by Will, they identify those opportunities, and then those are placed in our stores for people to sign up for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Similar to the others, we're a bit unique in which we actually own a staffing agency that will employ all employees. We actually have part ownership in that insurance company as well that's based out of the Cayman Islands. In dealing with having 3,000 employees, we understand the natures of workers' compensation, and we don't like the instability of certain companies. So to hedge that risk, we decided that we would utilize a staffing company for all employees. So they would be paid automatically through the staffing agency, and we have the ability to write any class code or particular classification that they want. Aside from the paid in hours, one goal that I currently have with all my employees that I'm close with that work directly under me is we encourage and try to foster a work environment and a living wage that encourages them to do volunteer work without getting paid. So that's our ultimate goal aside from the paid and volunteer hours. So thank you.
Pardon me, sir. What business are you with?
I'm sorry?
Could you announce your business, please?
The staffing agency is Pacific Personnel Management.
No, the applicant business.
Oh, Sugar Pine 5590. Sorry.
Thank you. Just wanted it clear for the record.
No problem.
Good evening, Council. Hirsch Jane with Cali Oz Madera. Our volunteer program is a program that we've implemented successfully and without incident since 2019, and so we're immensely confident in it. As many of the other applicants have noted, we carry general liability insurance and workers' compensation insurance, and so that ensures that the company assumes the liability, and the liability doesn't at all fall upon the city. So those are the steps that we've taken, and I think one of the other benefits of us proactively engaging and already supporting a lot of these community organizations is that we've already had these conversations about liability, and that gives us even further confidence that that won't be an issue here. And the final thing I'll note is other applicants have said, we view this program as critical because that's the way that we get embedded into the Madera community, and so that's something we look forward to doing here as well.
Good evening, Bonique Emerson with Jiva Madera, and we've committed to 500 volunteer hours annually. And like others have said, we carry liability insurance and workers' comp, and the volunteer hours will be paid by us. Thank you.
Good evening. Adam Hijazi with Mainstream Madera. So we are currently, all of our shops are unionized with United Food and Commercial Workers. So we will be definitely working with all of our employees' schedules to make sure that, appropriately they're going to be able to do this in-kind contributions and volunteer, which we have hundreds of hours in regards to our application, and we do plan on increasing that. And also, if they do work overtime for whatever reason, we will make sure to be able to track that, and that will be a financial liability to us that we will make sure to pay part of our community benefits. In regards to, we're going to have, our great workman's comp liability, workman's comp insurance and general liability insurance. I do want to say that a lot of general liability insurance, while we have a good relationship with our insurance agency, we will increase as much as possible. But in some cases, those liability insurances actually might not cover some of these things that's offsite. So we will be able to provide a separate insurance, which is specifically only for these types of events, which is actually an events insurance. So that way you make sure it's covered, because, the details are really the angels in the details with your policy. We will get a separate coverage to make sure that it will cover this type of thing, to be more specific. And we look forward to actually also increase those hours as we go by, and hopefully, continue the successful program here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Shannon, did you want to go back?
Mayor, if I may, we have one caller with his hand raised, who may want to address the council regarding this item. So if it's okay, I'd like to call on, the phone number is ending in the last four digits 1635. You may unmute yourself and please state your comment.
And this would be a response to just the question that's been asked. Thank you.
Caller for phone number ending 1635. Please press *6 to unmute yourself, and you may now speak.
Do you know who the applicant is? Do you want to have him take a?
Okay.
Okay.
He
left. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Are there any further questions from my colleagues? No? Okay. So then we will now, all the applicants have been interviewed. There are no further questions from my colleagues. We will now go into public comment. I am now opening this meeting to public comment. Members of the public shall now have an opportunity to address the City Council regarding matters on this agenda. Speakers should limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers will be asked, but are not required, to identify themselves and state the subject of their comments. Members of the public who are participating in the meeting remotely via phone should press 9 to raise their hand to speak, and press 6 to unmute yourself when called on to speak. Remote attendees will be called by the last 4 digits of their dial-in telephone number.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Just a reminder to the public that the applicants have already had an opportunity to address the City Council and make their presentations. This portion is for members of the public and community who did not have an opportunity to speak yet, and also any applicants who did not make it to the final round. So if there was an applicant who didn't make the cut, they can certainly speak at this time as well. Thank you.
My name is Jose Jimenez. No, that's a different story. My name is Michael Minetti. I'm from Madera. I'm a retired financial advisor / stockbroker. I'd like to say a little bit about my sister Rochelle, who is applying for this license, Rochelle Noblet. We all grew up in the family business, which was Pete's Sports Shop. Has been in the same location in Madera since 1959 on the corner of 6th and C Streets. In 1979, when I left to pursue other opportunities, Rochelle took over running what was then a full-line sporting goods store. Her passion was art, graphics, and soon she added a full-service advertising agency, embroidery, and screen printing divisions. She attracted large clients like Dodge Ridge Ski Area, for which she created trail maps, brochures, and billboards. She did catalogs for San Jose soccer wear manufacturer and a Washington State Award jacket manufacturer. She provided models for an international skiwear company and designed logos for many local entities as well. She was so adept at promotions, she regularly sold out Luca's Restaurant. I'm not sure any of you people remember Luca's Restaurant, but it was a main Italian restaurant in the Central Valley for years and years. She took over marketing for another siblings nonprofit called the Cat House on the Kings, which was a feline rescue which was struggling financially. She created professional newsletters and participated in videos, one of which is still running on the National Geographic Wild. The lady with 700 cats. The Cat House is now a multi-million-dollar entity with worldwide recognition. When she took over as executive director of the Madera County Arts Council in 2016, was located in a tiny space in a strip mall. She had big plans that required a bigger space, and she was able to move them into their current quarters. She increased membership sixfold and visitor donations exponentially. She even dragged me to something called Paint Night that I ended up thoroughly enjoying, and among the company of others who never thought we could paint other than a barn. I'm excited to see her Doma Arts Alleyway revitalization come to fruition. Rochelle's lifetime of commitment to Madera, along with her expertise in marketing and human resources, will make Dispo downtown a showcase for Madera. In closing, I have one other comment aside from this. The dude with the dreads there, I wish I could do that.
Thank you very much. Now you got to follow that. Please be aware of the clock on your screen. So speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Very briefly, unfortunately, it's not illegal to participate despite receiving donations, but it is unethical. And if it was illegal, we would have a lot of representatives at the state and federal level behind bars. Unfortunately, it's happened here in Madera as well. But speaking about being ethical, I am here to support Embark. I actually learned about them through their community engagement, and their involvement in the community really inspired me to be involved, and actually came to multiple meetings that they had afterwards, hearing the different applicants. And Embark really stood out to me. The fact that their application was one of the few that actually received 100%, that really says a lot about their experience and who is behind Embark. The fact that they're one of the few applicants who have board members at the moment that are already being involved and they're local, that says a lot about Embark as well, and their commitment to the community moving forward. And the fact that they're one of the few that actually have a union bargaining agreement already says a lot. And I think that they really stand out a lot. And there's a lot of applications. Congrats to the city staff that actually reviewed all those applications. I sat through a couple of meetings and it was a lot. But out of everybody, Embark really stood out. So I hope that the city could really consider them and make ethical decisions moving forward. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Danielle Parra, and I'll be reading a letter of support on behalf of Monica Ramirez, the Executive Director of First Five. Mayor Garcia and members of the council, I am writing to express my strong support for Embark Madera's application for a retail cannabis license at 530 East Yosemite. My name is Monica Rodriguez, and I serve as the Executive Director of First Five, an organization dedicated to supporting, educating, and protecting youth in our community. As a leader in protecting and educating our community's youth, I am not supportive of retail cannabis, but I am supporting Embark Madera due to their commitment to ensuring that the financial benefits derived from cannabis activities are invested in the needs and priorities of our community, particularly our youth. Embark has established a commendable community advisory board, demonstrating their dedication to aligning their operations with the welfare of our community. Embark's track record in launching meaningful youth drug prevention and education programs in collaboration with esteemed partners such as the Boys and Girls Club speaks volumes about their commitment to the next generation. This is precisely the kind of operator we need in our community, one that shares our values and is devoted to fostering the well-being of our youth. As a neighbor to Embark's proposed location, I am particularly invested in ensuring that their operations contribute positively to our immediate neighborhood and the broader Madera community. Through careful examination of their operations and their good neighbor policy, I am confident that Embark will bring increased security, safety, and commerce to downtown Madera. Having had the opportunity to understand Embark's commitment to community engagement as evident by the caliber of community leaders on their board, I am assured that they have assembled the right team to facilitate a safe transition to legal cannabis for our community. The Community Advisory Board, in particular, will provide direct feedback on Embark's operations and help prioritize community needs that require funding. In conclusion, as both a neighbor and a community leader, Embark has earned my trust, and I strongly urge our city leaders to support Embark's application to open a retail cannabis dispensary at 530 East Yosemite. I believe that their presence will contribute positively to our community, and I appreciate your consideration on this matter. Thank you. Sincerely, Monica Ramirez. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to give you a heads up, folks, if I can hear you up here, then that means the microphones is picking you up also. So if you could please keep your discussions at a minimum and step outside, please, so that we don't interrupt the folks making their comments and you don't get picked up on the recording. Thank you.
Hello, how is everyone? My name is Cynthia Ramos. I serve on the board of directors for the Olive Foundation, a nonprofit organization in Madera County. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of Olive founder, Chief Dan Foss, and in support of Embark Madera. Embark approached Chief Foss approximately 2 years ago. And initially, he was apprehensive about joining their board until he understood the shared values between him and Embark. In learning more about Embark's track record of delivering meaningful benefits in the communities they are currently serving, there's 9, and their approach of empowering local leaders to direct Embark's community benefit funding of 1%, Chief Foss was excited to play an active role in ensuring that Madera's nascent cannabis industry delivered impactful benefits to our residents. Embark has proven itself as engaged operators, visiting our operations and learning firsthand about the impact that Olive has in uplifting the most vulnerable citizens in our community. It is clear that Embark shares our values and is committed to investing in the needs of our underserved population. And to know Chief Foss is to know that safety of our community is his #1 priority. With Embark, Madera will have a cannabis operator that has top-notch security and a stellar track record of 100% compliance. As reflected in their track record of community benefits, they understand how to partner with community leaders and deliver tangible, tailored benefits to address the unique needs and priorities of the communities that they serve. Embark has earned the trust of community leaders, including Dan Foss, and the Olive organization is confident that they will deliver responsible, safe, and compliant cannabis operations to the Madera community. Embark has earned our trust, and I earned this council to support them. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carmina Ramos, and I am the program supervisor for Madera Casa. And I'm going to be speaking on behalf of Wilma Hashimoto, our executive director for Casa. And since 2018, Best Market Owners by Akram Kasim, known by Adam, and that owns the owner of Bonita Market, the owner of Best Food Market, and the owners of Bonita Market, Naif Mohammed Mohsen. I'm sorry, their last names, Eddie and Alex, that I know them by. They have been supporters of CASA 100%, even before they established going into the cannabis business. They have invested in improving the lives of the local youth in our foster care on many levels. They have donated food to multiple CASA events, provided laptops to our graduating high school students, donated funds to help address the higher needs of our program. In addition, they show up, and that's the most important. They show up when the youth needs, specifically items are needed. They provide funds for it. They show up to provide CASA support, as much as if we have a homeless child that comes to CASA and they need supplies or any hygiene, and for some reason the department is not able to quickly donate that, we have sponsors or we have community members such as them that they provide such things. They also they've been such great supporters to our program even before they addressed to become and cannabis get involved in this business. So just with that said, they've been supporters of us even before, and we know how much they continue to support us, even though within or without their application process, we know that we could count on them for anything for our youth. So with that approval of their proposal business to the community and its children, we know that they're gonna be more effectively involved with our community, with not only with our community, but with our children. They have constantly provide that support to our kids, especially our most vulnerable, right, in our community. And we know that they have them in mind 100% of the time. So with that said, I wanted just to say, you know, to consider them.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Merry Christmas. Anyway, my name is Yolanda Williams, and I'm a retired teacher, and I've been here for a long time. And it is my honor to speak on behalf of Rochelle Noblet. I admire her tenacity, intelligence, inclusiveness, and her welcoming spirit. She can actually speak enough Spanish to communicate with the public. She has a tremendous amount of resources within her reach to get things done, especially through her grant writing. I met Rochelle Noblet when she was an executive director of the Madera Arts Council. I loved what she was doing there and started volunteering regularly. She transformed the Circle Gallery into a social hub for Maderans. She was always thinking of things to bring people in. She invited different groups to hold their meetings in the conference rooms, such as the Rotary Club and other service clubs. In no time, she turned the Madera Council, Art Council, into a place that people were buzzing about, rather than a place that nobody had heard of. She eventually hired me as a bilingual guitar teacher, and we used the guitars that somebody had donated. And it was a great experience for the children, and the parents were very involved there. She started having art classes for kids and adults, often getting donors to sponsor them, and expanded to offer classes for homeless and fostered youth. I was really touched when she invited the migrant students from Madera Unified and to do some arts and crafts. And also she included the special needs students, which is very difficult to teach, but she did a great job there. And she was also having other classes at nighttime. And she recognized a need for to reach out to the Mexican and indigenous groups. She had a wonderful celebration of Dia de los Muertos. She had some rooms decorated with altars, and the public was encouraged to bring photos and mementos for display. She invited the Oaxacan dancers to perform outside in their masks, whips, drums, bands, singing and dancing, and it caused people to pull over off of Gateway Drive to join the festivities, and she had free food there too. One thing that she did was very extraordinary was that she brought an exhibit from El Paso, Texas, and it was called Coyol Shauki, and it was done by one of our Madera native called, her name was Gloria Osuna Perez, but she lived down the street from me, and she was a great artist in sculpture and painting. She had this exhibit well attended, and many people were very excited that she exhibited a lot of the Hispanic women's contribution, especially this native Maderan. She also received letters of support from some of the greatest names in the Chicano art movement.
I want to thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hello. I'm Lex Bufford. I think we all pretty much know each other. I'm a local business owner and a property owner. I'm here tonight to advocate for DISPO. I've served on the Downtown Association Board of Directors for 20 years with Rochelle, and I know that she brings a reputation for honesty and customer service, and she knows the local community. And I'm sure that if she's involved in it, that it'll be a real asset to the downtown. And we've been working for a long time for the downtown, and we got a chance now, I think, to get a lot of improvements made. And one of the important things is parking. You know, as a business owner, it's always parking. You have trouble with employees parking out on the streets. And I know that we're going to redo Main Street, and hopefully that'll improve things. But one of the things with Dispo is that they have adequate parking. It's well lit. It's a safe parking area. The building's in a good position. And I think it will be a real asset to the community if you approve Rochelle and her Dispo. So thanks a lot. Nice to see everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Ro. I am here tonight as a proud member of the UFCW Local 8, which is our union, and Embark employee as well. I'm a supervisor there. Embark is a responsible cannabis operator that is committed to ensuring our operations are benefit to the immediate neighborhood and larger community. So furthermore, I've been there since last year, and you can see the huge difference from then till now, just with the scenery, the greenery, everything. And it's just uncanny, to be honest. So I'm here in support of Embark. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council of Madera and members of the community. My name is Tina Rodriguez. I'm the Executive Director for Beloved Survivors, a nonprofit serving the Central Valley region and Sacramento. I'm here today in support of Lavish. I can share with you that long before this business opportunity presented itself, it was always very clear to me who I can call on in the community for needs such as safety, maximizing immediate assistance for food, and any type of daily living needs. I can tell you from firsthand experience that I have reached out to Akram and also members of his staff for various needs that are not covered by state and federal funds and never got a no. And numerous times it's typically now usually my accounting team that has to reach out and ask if they're interested in a tax deductible letter. And that's not because it's a business practice, but it's because it's a natural part of their character to be giving to the community, to show up and to provide those needs. I had the opportunity to sit down and speak with them and discover that many of their goals align with what the community needs. They are very specific and intentional about knowing specific areas that are underserved. In the discussion came up eradicating hunger, equal access to education, and they've shown up numerous times to provide everything from weather appropriate clothing to cover the cost of expenses for translators and also legal fees to make sure that they are maximizing safety to the most vulnerable populations within our community. I stand in full support of Lavish and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Oliveris, and I am a lead supervisor at the Fresno location. As an original Embark Fresno employee and member of the UFC Local 8, I've been around since the very first day, and I strongly embrace Embark's application in the Madera community. I have lived and grown up in the city of Fresno my entire life, and I have seen the firsthand change that comes along with correctly regulated cannabis retail and consumption. I am very proud and honored to be a part of Fresno's history, being a member of the very first team to help operate the first Fresno cannabis location. During my time with Embark, I have been blessed to educate and help a volume of customers to receive the correct product they're in search of while answering any questions they may have. I've also been able to move up to a higher leadership role, and within that role, I've been given the amazing opportunity to learn myself, bettering my leadership to be able to train my team to strengthen their product knowledge and skills. Our Fresno location is the perfect example of how cannabis can promote and help inspire the local community while also helping to promote positive and correct cannabis knowledge for all of its patients. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Clint Noblet, and I'm a registered nurse here in Madera. My mother, Rochelle Noblet, raised me and my brother Garrett here. Besides a brief stint in Fresno when I went to Fresno State, it's where I've always called home. Growing up, we participated in many events, Christmas parades, costume contests. Some of my fondest memories come from passing out some hot chocolate over at Pete's Sports Shop in the company of friends and family during those Christmas parades. My mom is also responsible for the 20-year tradition of the tractor parade and the wine stroll and many other community service projects, all while being a loving and attentive mother at home. Besides being a very avid member of the community and honored businesswoman, that knows how to get stuff done. Rochelle had time to make our costumes, sponsor our sports teams, and step in as a photographer for the Madera High Aquatics team. So we got some love in the Tribune as well. Down the road, she became the executive director for Madera County Arts Council and breathed some life into the artistic minds of the community with classes, showings, and my favorite, paint nights, my uncle. Now, with the legalization of cannabis, a new opportunity is opening its doors to the people of Madera. I'm happy to see that the negative opinion of weed is fading and its medicinal uses are being accepted more and more. Even in the hospital setting, medical use of marijuana is allowed to treat patients. So Rochelle knows the benefits of marijuana and has the business savvy to open a successful dispensary. Reopening the store to Pete's Pot Shop is the right call. Please vote DISPO. Thank you.
Good.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Julie O'Kane, and I'm here to express my support for Embark Madera and their application to open a retail cannabis store down on Yosemite in the old City Bank building. As a former Madera Unified School District superintendent, it always seems a little strange that I would be standing up and talking about cannabis. But I've met the people from Embark. I've looked at the business as they operate it. I've looked at their philosophy about how we should be supporting the youth in our community and using the community benefit money in that regard. I'm convinced that the Embark team is going to work with our already appointed advisory committee, and I'm a member of that committee, to make sure that we have programs to help with youth drug prevention and education in our community. Their work in this space demonstrates their shared values and prioritization on the future of the community. They're located in a great spot downtown, not in the middle of it, but close enough to enhance our downtown. And I'm pleased to be a part of that advisory committee and hopefully develop some great programs and support for our young people in Madera. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to provide some thoughts tonight. My name is Mela, and I started my journey with Embark about a year and a half ago as the general manager of our Blackstone location, Fresno's first legal cannabis dispensary. Since then, I've grown into a regional manager role overseeing our Fresno location. Embark is a safe, responsible, and compliant retail operation that puts the security and betterment of the community at the forefront of everything we do. I also want to share how I'm proud to say our store has become a home away from home for those across the valley. When folks walk through our doors, they consistently tell us that our team and environment make them feel special, taken care of, and most importantly, like they're a part of the Embark family. Beyond that, we look forward to contributing positively to the Madera community by hiring 100% locally, with a specific emphasis on the immediate neighborhood and being dedicated to developing that team and creating opportunities for career advancements. I understand you have a number of people here before you tonight, but with Embark, I can promise you'll have a team that's more than just an operation. We're a partner to our customers, our neighbors, and the community we serve. I certainly hope you'll afford us the opportunity to serve the residents of Madera as we have in Fresno and beyond. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jelani Yepes. I'm here to be in support of Mainstream. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I just wanted to mention about how Mainstream, I would say, is more for the people. I know they've done a lot of towards Madera specifically, of course. They've done tons, such as a lot of their back to school. They've done tons of to help out the community. They've had a lot of engagement towards the Madera town, especially I think a year or two ago, we did it was or like for Thanksgiving, we gave out turkeys. We gave out a lot of food towards more of the community. more downtown. I know it's not the first and it's probably definitely not going to be the last, but yeah, mainstream is someone I do support. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Thank you, guys. My name is Spencer Goff. I'm here in support of Cannibal, and I'm currently the regional trainer for the company. I've had the ability to work at Cannibal or GBH since day one. I've worked on every single situation from bud tender to customer service to delivery to distribution. And I also was the lead brand ambassador for Half Pipe, our home brand. So I've traveled up and down the state from Needles all the way up north to Napa. I've been in 200 dispensaries. I've done over 100 demos. Main thing I'm trying to bring to the table is the atmosphere and culture that we're going to bring to Madera. We try to create like the Cheers bar atmosphere where we know everybody's name. When you come to our home, we feel welcome. Our home is your home. We want it to be that way too when we bring our home to Madera. We've been doing that in Parlier since we started, and we just really feel like if given the opportunity, we could bring the same culture here to the city. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Haley, and I'm standing here today to support Cannibal. I was born and raised in Madera, right across the street from Madera North campus. After seeing firsthand what Cannibal Parlier has done for their community, I would love to bring that here to my community. We involve the community as much as possible through things like canned food drives and even fundraising toys for children during Christmas. We have seniors and veteran discounts and express lanes so they don't have to even wait in line. Working at this dispensary has taught me a plethora of things I never knew about cannabis. We do brand trainings to keep us up to date on industries and brands in store. Being able to pass this knowledge down to customers would be a blessing. Our customers in Parlier come from all around the valley, and they keep coming back because of our knowledge and our passion about the industry. I believe the people of Madera deserve that same passion and energy that we give out there without having to travel. We would also open up more job opportunities, of course, for the people of Madera, full-time, part-time. I've worked for Cannibal for 1.5 years now, and I've already moved up within the company within a year. So that being said, there's a lot of opportunities for personal advancement and growth within the company. Thank you guys for your time.
Good evening, Mayor Garcia, members of City Council. Baldwin Moy, I'm one of the Embark Advisory Committee members. And I recognize that this process is a difficult one because you have a lot of qualified applicants. As an advisory committee member, for me, the most important thing is transparency and accountability. And I would start with the team. I would look at the track record and I would also look at the business model. So when we look at the team, you don't have to go any further than that one of the owners is Will Oliver, who's well-known, former member of City Council. And you look at the other members of the team in terms of their professionalism, their experience, and their acts of responsibility. When we look at the track record, I think the Fresno model is an important one. The Fresno store is an important one, is that they do what they promise that they do. They were the first to operationalize its store. And so that the community benefits are already flowing into the city of Fresno. And I think that I would submit that certainly that this city could look forward to that. But most importantly, the model that we're talking about is really employing an advisory committee. An advisory committee consisting of really, and I'm familiar with all of them, are really many excluding myself, are really many of the movers and shakers in this community, people who are really the eyes and ears in this community, and they'll serve in that capacity for Embark. Lastly, I'll just close by respectfully requesting that this council give Embark every consideration that's due them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Roman Gonzalez. I'm a small business owner here in Madera since 2010, and I am here in support for Mainstream. I know this has been a long time that we've been coming to this day to get the votes for this permit established, and today we're here. I know that's a cannabis dispensary, but a long time ago it was marijuana sales, and when this was illegal back then, I've never seen so much people dressed up to get a permit. But we're here and we are ready to support the community. We got Jorge Deleja, he's an officer here. He's an officer of Mainstream along with Rico Saldivar. They're boots to the ground. They're out passing out turkeys to the unfortunate residents of Madera. I was there firsthand seeing them. I haven't seen too many of the dispensaries of applicants here, but boots to the ground, passing out turkeys, feeding the homeless, feeding the people in need, giving out gifts, being part of the parade here in downtown Madera, being very involved, back to school backpacks. I mean, they are boots to the ground. They have all the abilities to make this happen successfully from start to finish. Opening up a dispensary here in Madera should be one of the priorities of the council members to vote towards Mainstream, because they're actually the forefront tiers of this dispensary application process. They have all means necessary to open up a dispensary. Mainstream is not only a mainstream media, but they could bring other types of involvement to the city of Madera. They could revitalize the city of Madera as well. There's a lot of opportunities. You have Rico, he's a tattoo artist. He's very, very bright. In every single field there is to be able to have an art show at a dispensary or some type of event at schools as well. I know that they're very involved in the community. Again, you have George Leja here. He's also a business owner here in UTEC Madera, and he's very involved with the Spanish-speaking people. He loves his community. He's been here since day one he was born. He has not left. He's been here. He lives in Madera. They have all the necessary tools to open up the dispensary in a safe environment. They go meet their neighbors. I went across the street with George when they were having their backpack giveaway at 300 East Yosemite, I believe it is. And he introduced himself to a couple of neighbors. And I remember one concern that they had was security. And he addressed it. The neighbor felt safe and has the support behind it. So go Mainstream.
Good evening. My name is Jim Glynn. I'm a resident of the city of Madera. I've been writing Pulse of the Heartland for the Madera Tribune for a quarter of a century now. I know Madera. I know our needs. I know our strengths. I know this city. And I know that there is one person here tonight who has the right plan for a dispensary, has the experience to get it up and running successfully, and will make it an asset to the community. And that person is Rochelle Noblet, and her company is Dispo. She has served on the State Central Community College Foundation for nearly 20 years and chaired the $45 million capital campaign to restore the historic old administration building for Fresno City College. As the first female president of the Kiwanis Club of Madera, she organized the disc golf course that you can see at Lionstown and Country Park. As president of Pete's Sport Shop, she helped to create the Madera Youth Soccer League and has sponsored teams at every level and in every sport. She has served on the Madera Licensing Board. She has been a coach for the Academic Pentathlon. She has been a judge for Poetry Out Loud. She has been a judge for the MUSD Art Show. As president of Pete's Sport Shop, she helped to form the soccer league, as I mentioned, and that is one of our primary activities for youth in this community. And there is so much more. Rochelle is a person who accomplishes whatever she undertakes. So you don't have to speculate about the outcome when you choose her as a recipient for one of the permits. Thank you.
You.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Angeles, and I'm in support for Mainstream. I just want to express my utmost support for Mainstream and its partners. Even before their application process with Mainstream and their involvement with other businesses in Madera, they have consistently been actively engaged within the Madera community. Their dedication has been evident throughout the years of this process. Just seeing them hosting community events, I could see revitalization of downtown, which is much needed. I just want to let you, council member, just know if you do give this consideration for Mainstream, it will bring a lot of great things happening downtown. Thank you.
Council, my name is Dan Riley, owner of Steel Structures, owner of Riley's Brewing, and past president Madera Sunrise, and a host of others. I'm actually here to speak, and I can make time on actually two. And the reason I say that, because I've done my diligence and in my research. The first one is Embark and Will Oliver being at the helm. Will is a stand-up guy, rock solid and very steady. From my experience, and Will has been one of my best friends for over a decade. And if he's involved, it's done right or it's not done at all. So I know council can rest well at night and the chief doesn't have to worry if Will's involved because it's going to be taken care of. Simple, to the point. The other one is Rico and Mainstream. And I've known Rico for a very good long time. And I have to say, Rico is probably one of the most caring and giving men I've ever met. Without getting into all kinds of stuff, I can just make it very simplistic that with Mainstream involved, $1 that is spent at Mainstream is $1 that goes to a coat for a cold kid. $1 spent at Mainstream is $1 for a backpack for a kid at school. $1 spent at Mainstream is going to help feed a family, which you've heard, a hungry family. So with that, I would like to, lots of time left, but with that, I'd like to say it off that with those two, Embark and Mainstream, I think if you did that, it would be a wise choice for the council. And I think it would be a wise choice for the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Arias. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm here to speak on behalf of Mainstream. I've been a Madera resident for a long time, and I feel Madera is a city of need. Madera needs a lot, and I feel like the city council that we have right now has done a really good job in providing what we need for the city and continue to grow. I met Rico a number of years ago through martial arts. Rico has always sponsored local athletes throughout the Central Valley, and I haven't been no different. Rico has always been a big supporter of me and my team, I have tons of athletes that need support. Rico has always been there to support them. Rico has and his team approached me to sit on their committee to help kind of distribute the funds of where they need to go once they get established. And I've been part of many of their events and seeing the need that Madera needs more firsthand, handing a kid a coat, handing a bag of food to someone, handing school supplies to someone. I've been on the other hand side of that. Sitting here, thinking what I was going to say. I remember my first year in Madera. I was like 9 years old. I received a Christmas tree, and I never forgot about that. I remember the sheriff coming to my house and delivering Christmas tree, and I never will forget that in my entire life. I don't know where the funds came from. I don't know how I got it, but me and my family got it. And I know the same feeling that this last, I think the last giveaway we did was a back to school, when me and my daughter were standing side by side handing school supplies to kids in need. It's a feeling, the look on their faces was crazy. And, I support mainstream. I support Madera. I just, if you guys are going to reward anybody, please reward Rico and their family and mainstream. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. My name is Maddie Mendez, and I'm here in support of STIZZY, and I'm also going to talk about another one. But I want to just share, as a large corporation, STIZZY has been visiting Madera many times. And one of the times they've asked to tour CAPMC, and I provided them with the tour. But I asked them, what do you know about our community? And they did share a little bit. And I said, now let me show you my version. And so we toured schools, we toured the neighborhoods, we toured the needs, we toured everything from local poverty areas, seeing mothers in their strollers, walking their children to school, picking them up after school. But we also talked about our community and how strong we are and how we work together and collaborate together. One of the things about STIZZY is they're worldwide. And Will, I don't know how you're going to do this and select 6 licenses or how the process is going to be, but it's going to be tough. But I just asked the selection committee to consider, don't rule out the large. I remember meeting with culture. I remember meeting and asking, how did you get into this business? And it was personal, it was someone in their family that was in pain. And that's why they went into the cannabis business. You have a great selection of applicants that are, want to come into this community, learn more about us. So good luck to you on the selection. Mainstream, we know you're already here. You've already had people speak on your behalf, and thank you for your support. And Embark, we know Will a lot. Many of us know Will and Rochelle. Pete Sports Shop, I don't know how many POs I signed for Pete Sports Shop when it was in business, but thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. Good evening, mayor, and to the public. My name is Balwinder Singh. I'm here tonight to speak about a location at the old Farnesi's building. I wanted to speak a little bit about Mike Batar and his team at Grupo Flor. One of the things that attracted us as landlords was the fact that we were being able to be hands-on with our local community involvement. Not only does it give us an access that we have over other businesses, the fact that we have provided a location that's sensible, great access, it's not close to any sensitive areas. Necessarily the fact that it revitalizes another area of need in this community as well. I know we're focusing a lot of downtown and how to revitalize downtown. And another way to do that is also by allowing businesses who have the experience, who have the track record, who have the necessary means to sustain a business for a long period of time. Not to say that other applicants do not have that, but one of the things that stands out to me as a community partner is somebody who's able to grow with the community as they do business in this community. Not only be good partners, but also sustain that partnership further down the road. I know we talk a lot about community involvement as far as donations are concerned. When you look at the cannabis business as a whole, I think the donation portion of it is from the heart from a lot of these business owners. And I know the local involvement is very important, but I also see the community that a community that can accept outsiders that come into this community and be partners with this community. So a couple of things I wanted to point out was just the fact that the location is not in a sensitive area. It allows for easy access on and off the off-ramp. Grupo Flor has been in business for a numerous amount of years. Not only is their track record feasible, but other cities can also attract and give good opinions about how they have run their businesses, created less havoc for business owners around them as well too, and become good partners for this community. And as a council, I just wanted to say congratulations. This is a huge step in growing with this community. I know this wasn't an easy task for staff as well too, and I just wanted to appreciate the time and thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Alex Salazar, small business owner, community advocate, you name it. We've been on everything. What a beautiful evening tonight to talk about Madera's future. One of my favorite evenings of all the time when we talk about the future of Madera, specifically downtown, right? And I know all of you personally and in many things that we've all been involved in and all that kind of stuff. I want to remind you, first of all, I want to thank you for all the hard work that you guys have put in. Thinking community first, right? Thinking the community first. This is a very sensitive topic. I think the community has come together and you guys have done a very good job organizing this way, even though it's been painstakingly a long time, right? And hopefully this evening we'll make very good decisions on Madera's future. But I want to also remind you of the spirit of Madera and all of you too as well. That fire, that spirit to get involved, do something different for the community, step up and take charge. And that's why I support Mainstream. Rico and Jorge have expressed exactly that for me. As you know, I've been involved in many things, from school bonds, elections, volunteer things, president of so many clubs and all that kind of stuff here in this community. These two gentlemen and everybody else has been involved that they've been able to corral around Mainstream have done exceptionally great for this community with the true heart and passion of exactly what we need in this community, which is more of them to open up more businesses, regardless of the topic or the type. Just like them, we're going to, like it was said earlier, there's going to be $1 going back to backpacks, $1 going back to the community, to the less fortunate, and so on and so forth. And that's why I support Mainstream, and that's why I'm asking you to support Mainstream this evening. But again, it's like I started, and I want to wrap it up. Congratulations to all of you for doing this very good work this evening for the future of Madera. Thank you.
Is there any further public comment? Anyone wanting to come up to the podium? Absolutely. We could take, do we have a mic? Yeah, we could take your mic. You're fine.
Testing.
Hello. My name is Raziel. I'm here today because cannabis has provided me with ongoing relief from my crippling condition over the years. I'm excited to share my support for Lavish. I'm comfortable with the relationship they've built and attending their various public outreach events with my family. I support their plans to open up in an area with great space, as this will help increase its accessibility to the public while keeping congestion down in our town. In the past, I have spent a great deal of time and effort, money in order to determine which specific products are best for me. Lavish has supplied me with the necessary knowledge and supplies to help manage my pain through their sister company, West Coast. Over the years, cannabis has helped me stray away from an opiate habit I developed when my condition first came to be. It has given me a different way to cope. Over the years, I have found myself turning to cannabis instead of opiates, as it helped me with my pain enough so I could return to my job. Because of cannabis and the support I receive from companies like Lavish and West Coast, I have been able to turn a new leaf and contribute more to my society and city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have something to say? No?
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, esteemed council members. I'm here today to express my support in Lavish West. Something I've heard about from a lot of the other companies here tonight was how they plan to embed themselves in our wonderful city of Madera. And I think it is my opinion that we should reward those companies that have already taken the time to embed themselves within our city by contributing to various outreach programs, toy drives, food drives, you name it. Aside from that, I think it's also really important to consider those who understand our city's complex issues. And so I think it's encumbersome upon us to really consider everyone's plan of opening their location. I know Lavish is planning on opening in a location that will help with the congestion in the city, but also it will help with the beautification of our city as well. And all their renovations they plan to do will help give our city I guess a facelift, for lack of better terms. Yeah, so again, please just consider Lavish West. They're a great company. And yeah, thank you.
Is there any further public comment? Anyone else wishing to address the council?
Mayor, we do have 4 callers, 4 attendees. So I will call on the first attendee, phone number ending in 5605. Please press *6 to unmute yourself and speak. Phone number ending 5605. Please press *6 and you may speak. We can move on to the next caller. Phone number ending in 7780. Please press *6 to speak. Phone number ending 7780. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. And you may speak. We'll go to the next caller, Project Run Madera. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. Project Run Madera. Please press *6 to unmute yourself. We'll go to the next caller, ending in phone number ending 7576. Please press *6 to unmute yourself and you may speak.
Madam Clerk, I just want to make sure. It looks like no one is unmuting. Could there be a potential issue with it looks like a
Few people that are trying to press the *6. It's not moving through.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
I'm also
Hello?
being told *6 isn't working.
There we go. We got someone.
Okay,
think we
it's
have
coming
one.
through. This is caller 5605.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hello. All right. Hello. Good afternoon or good night. Dear members of the City Council, my name is Yulissa Torres, and I'm a resident from District 4 and here in the City of Madera. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts on the proposed dispensaries in Madera. As we contemplate the introduction of these establishments, a balance between local ownership and the potential advantages brought by external or non-local owners must be taken into consideration and not overlooked. It is important to consider community engagement, job creation, and the overall economic impact that these dispensaries can contribute to our city. In making this decision, it is crucial to align our choices with the genuine needs and priorities of the community. Some businesses advocate for their presence by making promises, yet the strength of their commitment lies in tangible contributions to the community they serve. Successful businesses such as the ones featured in the presentations I witnessed, for example, Body and Mind and Grupo Flor, not only refrain from under promising, but provide evidence of their positive influence, outlining what they can do for our community and showcase their past accomplishments. There exists an argument that out-of-state owners might abandon us if the business faces a decline. However, an examination of the current state of our city reveals that the risk of closure is not exclusive to non-local businesses. Locally owned businesses also encounter lots of challenges and unfortunate circumstances face closure. So it is important to remind ourselves that simply relying on local ownership does not guarantee that the business will stay in business for like 10 or 20 years. So the focus should be on fostering an environment where the benefits derived from these dispensaries, be they from local or external ownership, genuinely enhance the well-being of Madera. We cannot solely rely on trust and local support. We must recognize that businesses, regardless of local or external ownership, must contribute tangibly to the prosperity of our community. Another note that's significant to consider are the locations in which these dispensaries are placed. The east side of Madera already gets targeted with negative stereotypes. So for the dispensaries that want to be placed here, I ask those dispensaries, what exactly are your plans for helping dispel those stereotypes and not contributing to them in the area if allowed to open up here? Well, to wrap up, I ask you today, City Council members, that you please approach this decision with a nuanced understanding of the decision you are making. Weigh the potential benefits these dispensaries can bring to Madera, and may your choices reflect a commitment to the long-term vitality of our community, considering both local ownership and outside ownership contributions in a thoughtful and informed manner. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me try caller ending in 77780. Caller ending in 780.
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Wonderful. Hi there. Good evening. My name is Kristen Heidelbach. I am the UFCW Western States Council Cannabis Legislative Advocate here in support of Embark Madera. I wanted to start by pointing out to the council that Embark is a trusted and proven union operator. They deliver and continue to deliver on their promises to community and also their employees. Embark has a collective bargaining agreement with UFCW, ensuring true employee representation across all storefronts. They provide meaningful wages, benefits, opportunities for personal and professional development to all employees, including the UFCW accredited cannabis apprenticeship program that Embark has partnered with UFCW to build and certify. They're committed to hiring local and have a proven track record in doing so. Embark was the first to open in the neighboring city of Fresno and is the only applicant before you tonight that has operationalized their Fresno storefront, delivering millions of dollars in tax revenue and hundreds of thousands of dollars in community benefit donations. UFCW stands with Embark, and we urge this council to select Embark to operate in the city of Madera. I do just want to clarify one final point. And I'm sure folks are aware that there is a difference between a collective bargaining agreement and a labor peace agreement. Labor peace is a requirement of state statute. In contrast, a collective bargaining agreement, which some of the folks before you tonight have an agreement, it's a contract between the union and the employer that protects the workers. It defines wages, health and welfare, and more. I just want to clarify that for the council, and I appreciate your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this clarification. Thank you.
Caller ending in phone number 7576.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Garcia. My name is Patrick Orozco. I grew up in Fresno and attended many Madera Speedway evenings as a kid. Really enjoy your community. we are a real estate developer. We've built several million square feet up and down the 99 corridor. I'm speaking to you tonight to support Jiva MAE. They are engaged as a prospective tenant on the new development up in Schnorr. I was involved in their team in identifying a location that is capable of supporting the highest possible volume based on traditional retail metrics that involve cross-shopping, convenience, parking, all of the different things that cannabis typically lacks in a shopping experience. We have built for Target, Home Depot, Costco, Lowe's, built multiple Starbucks, and have modeled this particular store based on all of those conventional models that prioritize value, convenience, safety. There is no aspect of this particular undertaking that has not been thought through. I met Raj 5 or 6 years ago. He is the industry expert in the team. Bonique I met through entitlements in Fresno, West Fresno area, and Sarah, as a lifelong resident, is a very qualified community benefits liaison. You've got the best local knowledge, the highest integrity, the best possible location to derive maximum retail sales and kick off to you maximum tax benefit. You can't go wrong with these guys, and I think that a gesture towards economic development in a part of your community that is still growing would be a good move on the city's part. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, we have phone number ending 9901.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Nick Salinas. I'd like to first congratulate you and staff for the hard work and the perseverance in getting to this meeting this evening, and congratulations on having a number of absolutely great quality candidates. I'd like to speak on my support of Grupo Flor, specifically and uniquely as their location being near the freeway proximity. I feel that's a revenue multiplier by getting folks regionally to come to Madera, and harnessing those tax dollars here locally is just going to be an absolute win for our community. And as chairman of the Old Timers Day Parade, which is funded by the Downtown Association, which I'm a member of as well, it's our budget isn't extremely plush per se, but thanks to the support that we've had from Grupo Flor, we've been able to continue the 92-year history of the parade. And in working with these folks, the next question is always, what is next? How can we support? What are the needs of the community? And I just want to thank them for that, and would encourage your support of their application tonight. Thank you.
And we have Project Run.
Good evening. I'm here in support of Lavish. My name is Alicia Brown. I'm founder of Project Run Madera, a nonprofit organization that Lavish has been very dedicated to since our founding 2 years ago. They have been very supporting in making sure that our athletes are supported here in Madera. With their support, we've been able to serve over 700 middle school and high school track athletes with running shoes and apparel. Not only that, they've been doing this since 2018 through food giveaways, through backpack giveaways, like soup kitchens and things like that. Maybe not necessarily soup itself, but you get the idea, giving food to those who need it, especially with Akram's background in just experiencing poverty on another level, if you've ever heard his story, and then to come back into our community and make sure that children are not experiencing what he has experienced is just, it's an incredible thing. And also, I just learned that he also had his company given laptops to foster youth who graduated last summer, which is completely amazing. Me being in the education world, that is something that these kids are going to be able to take and use. And so to have someone in our community who is not only an entrepreneur and keeping Madera dollars here in Madera, which is something that I've heard so many complaints about. So someone who is actively and intentionally working to make sure that our dollars stay here. But not only that, he's giving back into our community, making sure that our youth is taken care of, making sure that children are getting the experience that they should have as children. I think that's super important. And again, a Maderan who's as a Maderan who's grown up here and has experienced life here, we need leaders like this in our community. So 100%, I would say, you know, give your support to Lavish because they are really here about the community, here about the youth, and the youth is the future. So to have that kind of push, I'm all for it. Thank you.
We have phone number ending in 6300.
Good evening, council members and the mayor of Madera. Thank you for your time. I know it's been a long process. I'll keep it brief. I'm here to support Jiva Madera. My name is Raj Patabatni. I'm the managing director. I've had the privilege to work with Sarah and Monique and Patrick on this project. This is a new development project to enhance North Madera on Schnorr. It's going to be about 3,100 square feet. It's going to have excellent parking with over 40 spaces, excellent access. As a new development, we have the ability to really ensure that security is going to be taken care of. Part of our community benefits plan and our corporate ideology includes local engagement, conscious consumerism, youth prevention, social justice, and environmentalism. Our three pillars for philanthropy are foster a safe and healthy environment, protect youth and family development, and supporting creativity and the arts. We have a charitable contribution fund that estimates to be about $560,000 over 5 years. And we have a city action plan that is a direct payment to the city, regardless of gross sales. That's $150,000 that the city can use at their discretion to support the city's strategic priorities. Our business is 100% minority owned, majority women owned by Monique and Sarah. Sarah has been a lifelong resident. I think Monique mentioned in our presentation that she wasn't awarded the points for residency. Either way, we look forward to supporting the city of Madera, and we hope to serve its residents, and we hope that Jiva Madera is able to operate within the next year. Thank you so much for your time.
And we have a caller by the name of Gabby Angeles.
Yes. Hello. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. My name is Gabriela Angeles, and I am here wanting to speak in support of Mainstream and its partners. As you've heard from many testimonies already, they have, since before the application process even started, and with the businesses they do have shares already with, have been boots on the street, supporting our community, hosting many free events. Literally, the food is free, the giveaways are free, everything. Something that families can go to and have a day out with. They don't have to worry about, how am I going to pay for my kid to have a little bit of fun? You know, and that touches my heart because I have my child and he has been able to benefit from that. And that's just a small example. They have done a lot of back to school and community events. They have partnered up with a lot of different community outreach programs in which they have been able to contribute and help support within our community. Like I said, they are boots on the street and they are firsthand doing a major difference in our community. Growing up in Madera has been interesting. You know, we see how bad things can get for some of us and how great the others can benefit. But they are the ones that stay humble, and they are the ones that know what we need and have done their part to contribute to that. And I want to say thank you to Mainstream for that, because they do make a difference within my personal life and many around me. I also want to say that I am excited to see what they can bring more of, assuming they do get approved for this, because if I heard all the testimonies, they are the ones that do deserve it. And I just want to say that please take them into consideration, as they are, again, the front runners in this and giving back to our community and really making a difference here in Madera County. So thank you, council, for hearing me out. I appreciate it.
And that we have no more callers, Mayor.
Was everyone successfully able to get on?
I believe so, yes.
Thank you. Fantastic job. Thank you very much for that, Alicia. Did I hear somebody?
There's no one with their hand raised. That's who's on. I don't have anyone with their hand raised. If you're wishing to speak, please press *9 to raise your hand. Okay, now we have a few more. Okay. So we have caller ending 9660.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor Garcia and members of the council. My name is Lucy Ruiz, and I am in full support of Embark's application to operate a community-centric cannabis storefront in the city of Madera. I am a member of Embark Fresno's Community Advisory Board and have seen the positive impact Embark has had on our community. Embark has gone above and beyond in empowering local leaders like myself to direct 100% of their community benefit funding. This is significant local investment, upwards of $200,000 per year. I am confident Embark will bring the same level of engagement and commitment to the city of Madera. What truly distinguishes Embark is its genuine dedication to being engaged, accessible, and responsive community stewards and neighbors. As a member of Embark Fresno's Community Advisory Board, I've really gotten to know the Embark team and their true commitment to community engagement and empowerment. We meet quarterly to discuss community priority and needs, and in these meetings, it is the board members that decide funding allocations, not Embark. As represented in the Fresno storefront, Embark is committed to ensuring that their storefront is a positive addition to their immediate neighbors, bolstering security, safety, and commerce. Lastly, and most importantly, Embark's commitment to youth drug prevention and education has yielded a proven track record of success. This focus on supporting youth is critical and should be prioritized when considering which operators should serve your community. I respectfully urge leaders of Madera to select Embark to serve as a foundational leader in Madera's retail cannabis industry. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Mayor, we have caller 5249. 5249.
Yes, can you hear?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Ani Petrosian. I'm an attorney and calling in support of Mr. Sadiq Alamari and Herbs for this dispensary license. Mr. Alamari is an exceptional member of the Madera community. The council can be assured that he has the experience, knowledge, and personality to run a successful cannabis dispensary. The proof of this is in Mr. Alamari's longstanding track record of running multiple businesses, several of which I believe are in the Madera location, and which are already specialized and highly regulated. He knows how to keep customers safe and happy. He maintains his current business locations cleanly and safely. He has given back to the community throughout his many years there by hiring locally and engaging in multiple community efforts that directly support the constituents of Madera. He is also a family man, very proud of it, and he is involved in his children's education, which shows that he cares deeply for the future of Madera's youth. In addition, and on a personal note, Mr. Alamari is the kind of person who steps up and takes care of his own, which includes his friends, family, but beyond that, employees and his customers. He consistently provides his time, effort, and strength to those who are in need, and he's generous without asking for anything in return. I think given all the above, he exemplifies the type of operator that the community needs and who understands what Madera needs in order to protect Madera's interests. Therefore, I strongly support Mr. Alamari and Herbs and encourage the City Council to consider him for this opportunity. Thank you.
City Clerk, before we call the next person, could I just remind anybody that is online and just joining us that the comments are limited, not to applicants at this time. Applicants have had an opportunity. This is for members of the community and any applicant who has not made it to this stage. So that's just a reminder for those who may be coming online with regards to the telephone calls. Thank you.
Our next caller is phone number ending in 0772.
Hi, good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Stephanie Brown. I am a district union representative for UFCW Local 8, and I am proud to be here in support of Embark Madera. They are a trusted union employer, business operator, that have been proven to deliver on their promises to both their employees and the communities. They've effectively been the first the first to open in Fresno, and is the only applicant before you tonight that has successfully opened their Fresno storefront and delivering millions of dollars in tax revenue and hundreds of thousands of dollars to the community to benefit donations. I did want to speak to clarify that Embark has a collective bargaining agreement. I heard that there were a couple of applicants that may have stated they have a CBA. In fact, they have an LPA. The difference between the LPA, labor peace agreement, and a CBA, which is a collective bargaining agreement, is a collective bargaining agreement is a contract document in place to protect workers with absolute guarantees to their employees about their employment, including wages, benefits, opportunities to move up with wage increases, and development as professional and personal development. Embark is committed to hiring locally, and they also have a proven track record as well. You can look at their Fresno operation. I just wanted to thank you guys for your time and let you know that with UFCW, we stand with Embark and encourage the council to select Embark to operate in the city of Madera. Thank you for your time.
Mayor, we have caller with the phone number ending 7354. 7354.
Good evening, Mayor Garcia and council members. My name is Narek Vardanian, and I'm calling in support of Herbs LLC and Sadiq Alamari. Sadiq is a friend and also a business partner of mine. I'm going to be the compliance officer for Herbs LLC. I'd like to make 2 points. First, Sadiq is a community member and a family man, so he has a direct interest in giving back to the community. Every time he talks about, the things that he's done for the city, and he doesn't really, he's not the type to really brag about the things he does, but he has a track record of it, and many people in the community know what he does for the city. He has children who attend schools in the city. He lights up every time he talks about doing something for the city. So it's important to see that, you know, he does have success. He does have a successful business in the city, a chain of retail stores, and he has a track record. But one thing I'd also like to mention is that I've worked with some of the biggest cannabis companies in Los Angeles, and the steps that Sadiq is taking are going to make him successful. At the end of the day, you know, it's great that a lot of people have great intentions of giving back to the community and making all these promises, but if you're not a successful business, you're not going to be able to do it. And the city ultimately is going to benefit if the operation is successful. And Sadiq is taking all the right steps in order for his business to be a success, for him to be able to contribute to the community for a long period of time, for as long as he's doing business there. I just think that it's very important to note that he is taking the right steps and consulting with the right businesses and partnering up with the right people in order for the business to be a success, in order for him to be able to give back. And let's give credit to his track record. Everyone knows him. Everyone knows the businesses that he conducts in the city. And I really can't think of a better candidate to have the opportunity to run a business in the city. Thank you.
Mayor, we have phone number ending in 9292. 9292.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, this is, my name is Rose Petrosian. So I'm here to speak on behalf of Sadiq Alamari, who has applied for Herbs dispensary. I've known him for many, many years. He's a personal friend, and he's also helped me on many business ventures. He is just a great guy, and he has run businesses successfully in Madera for years. He has lived there for years. His 3 children go to school there. He has sponsored many school events, and he continues to do so. He just cares about the city. There are many other, my understanding, there's other commercial entities coming and applying for the same dispensary license, but he is there. He's going to stay there, and he just gets things done. And I'm sure that just like he has been doing with his other business ventures, the smoke shops, he will continue to give to the community. He has provided jobs. Customers love him, and I think he'll do the same for this dispensary. I highly recommend him for this application. Thank you.
We have caller with the phone number ending 3173.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. I'll try to make this pretty brief. Thank you for your time. I'm calling on behalf of Sadiq Alamari. I have known him and Herbs. I have known him for over 25 years. He is a very compassionate individual. He loves his 3 kids, who everyone's already stated that goes to Madera. He's already run 3 special use businesses, so he's used to the regulations between the state, the county, the cities, and all the other ones that regulate that type of business. What I have known from him is he has done many different things, as in giving out blankets to the community, bikes, and he's really passionate about this Narcan, which will help save lives in the future. He doesn't like to brag about that type of stuff, but he has a stake within our community. I know some of these other places don't, but that's really all I got to say. He's just a really good person, has a stake in the community. Thank you.
Mayor, we do have attendees on. However, no one else has their hand raised. If you're wanting to make public comment, this is a reminder to please press *9 to raise your hand. So you will be called on. I have phone number ending 2109.
Could repeat the instruction to them, maybe?
Please
Hello?
press there it is. 2109.
Yes, this is him. Sorry about that. Good evening, Council, Mayor. Hope everybody's having a great night tonight. My name is Christian Moreno. I'm here speaking on behalf of Element 7. I'm the Element 7 General Manager and Fireball in Mendota locations. Element 7 is a great employer and it really cares about its staff, often helping us with personal issues that we may face in life. Element 7 helps focus on local hires and local staff team, with 75% of the staff in both locations being local staff members. We help to ensure local business is made right and launched correctly in Madera. As a manager of Mendota and Fireball stores, I work very closely with the ownership team, city officials, and board of the Element 7 team to operate its business. It's a very collaborative relationship built on trust and communication. As a company, we really do give back to the communities with no hesitation. We really supported Fireball, police, track and field, and the Christmas toy drive this year. Other community activities that are brought up to us by team members or local customers that we bring to our attention are all brought to motion. We work hard to understand local communities that are Hispanic and to set us up well to build business in Madera. We have an excellent relationship with local police, consistently touring city officials, police, force through the building to help them train better and better understand our industry. With near to 25 stores opening in Fresno, 6 in Merced, 3 in Atwater, and up to 6 in Madera, what Madera needs is an operator like Element 7 to help collaborate in this industry and that wants to better help to diversify the business. With new thinking and fresh ideas like farmers markets and educational events for our customers, these sorts of ideas will help ensure Madera sets itself up for a better industry and group of operators that's differently found in Fresno and Merced. Thank you.
Caller ending in 9682. Caller ending in 9682.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Carly Salama. I'm a community member here in Madera. I'm calling in to state my support for Lavish West. One thing I want to highlight is that this company has treated our community like family since before the opportunity for their dispensary license became available. Through the work that they've done with outreach and various other community events that they've put on, they have fed our community, they've clothed our community, and they've given us various resources to help improve our community. They have truly treated Madera like family. It's my opinion that any of these businesses who spoke tonight will thrive in the area of selling cannabis products. However, in my opinion, the only way to tell who will really take an interest in our city and in improving it is to look at those who have already took the time to do so. And I genuinely, in my heart, believe that that is Lavish West. Thank you for your time.
Mayor, we have no other attendees with their hand raised.
Thank you very much, Alicia. If there is no further comment, the time is 9:11. We will take a 5-minute recess and reconvene at 9:16 promptly. I repeat, 9:16 promptly. Thank you.
And Mr. Mayor, public comment is now closed.
Yes, I'm
Thank
sorry. Yeah, public comment is now closed. Yeah. That's true. Run to the alley now. Now comes the fun part. Just want to say hi, Chief. No, continue, carry on. Max man, how you doing? How are you? Good.
It's a nice track. No, I think after on 99. Oh, you're fine.
I don't know if the council's gonna do that or not. They might, I'm not sure.
Stanley. Back out of the fire. No, that's it. Good job. How do you like being on your toes? That's the norm.
I know.
Huh?
Saturday and today.
Saturday was smooth.
It was.
Like
just a lot. There's a lot of background stuff going on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, we do appreciate what you do, but it is a lot of stuff goes unsung.
Tell me what you said. Alicia.
All right. take their seats.
Okay, we're good to go.
Thank you very much, Alicia. So we have heard from the applicants and we have heard public comment. And so then we will now begin deliberations. I will now close public comment and bring it back to this council for deliberation and action. We have 20 candidates and up to 6 available permits, which means that there are tens of thousands of different outcomes and combinations we could potentially select. I plan to use, or we plan to use, rather, the hopper method to streamline the selection process. Shannon, our city attorney, will now explain the hopper method to us all. Shannon?
Thank you. For the benefit of the public, when we talk about the hopper method, we talk about a container or a hopper or a basket, for the lack of a better word. And everybody that has made it this far, except the one that's withdrawn, is in a pool. And what we do is the city council first does what's called a straw poll. That can be nods, thumbs up, thumbs down, as to those who were no-shows and did not make a presentation as to whether or not they want to put them in the hopper. Then after that, they will go down the list, starting with number 1, and we call out the name of each one. And if there are 4 thumbs up or 4 nods, then that group that gets the nod, that particular business, goes into hopper number 1. Until at the end of it, you see how many are in the hopper. If there's more than 6 in the hopper, then we do that process again to put it into the next hopper until we get down to where it's in workable numbers so that we don't have like 38,000 possible outcomes. So that is the fast way to do it. I know we respect your time. So that is the hopper approach. Now, remember, the city council can stop and deliberate at any time. They can change it, but that's just what they're going to start with at the very beginning in order to move forward. Thank you.
This is a point of clarification. So say you're going to have multiple that have, so you won't just need to be able to vote for 6 initially like council.
That's correct. So you don't
do 10 and those are still in the hopper.
Yes. So you can put 10 in hopper number 1, and then you have a second round of votes and move them into hopper number 2. The key is anybody to move into a hopper has to have 4 affirmative votes. So if each one of you has already picked your 6, that's 6 different combinations times 7. That runs really quickly. So what you can do is go the first time around and see if you end up with 6 in the hopper. And if you do, you're done. Does that make sense? Maybe we can give it a try. If it doesn't work, we can go back and do it the other way. How's that sound?
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, but I also want to give an opportunity. I don't know if it's only me, but I want to articulate my selection process. I don't want to just have thumbs up or thumbs down. There's a whole basis as to why I go for a selection that I have. And I think it's important to articulate that, at least here in public. That's one way of doing it. Obviously, it's going to create a lot of combinations, but also I think, I'm not sure if my colleagues would feel the same way. Once that's out of the way, I don't mind moving on to the hopper, but I do want to have an opportunity to at least articulate how I go about selecting.
Okay, and that is an option. You could actually start down the row and have people identify their top 6 and explain why it's their top 6. And then at the end of that process, we could then go through the hopper procedure. And that might actually give everyone else a better idea of where everyone else is. I don't know. It's up to the council. We're just trying to identify ways to narrow this down from 38,000 different combinations to something that's a little bit more manageable.
Again, I'm only one. So it's on the, I think this council, this body to decide on how they would want it.
I would agree. I would agree with my Councilmember Rodriguez. I'd like to start with my first 6. And then after that, then we can continue on this way. But that's my opinion.
I see 1 nod. I see 2 nods. I see 3 nods, 4 nods. I see 4 nods for that, council or mayor.
That's okay. It's all right.
Thank you.
So having said that, we will pick 6 to begin with. We will begin with number 1, which is Mayor Pro Tem Gallegos.
Just a clarification, Shannon, we have to pick 6. We can't pick more than 6.
For the hopper method, you can pick more than 6, but I think what's being asked at this point is to identify your top 6 so that everybody else knows what those top 6 are. But you could in theory put more into the hopper than your 6. Sounds a little confusing, I know. So you can identify your top 3 if you only have 3. If you don't have a top 6, you don't have to identify any. I think the purpose, I'm looking at Councilmember Rodriguez at this point, the purpose is to be able to explain why you prefer certain candidates and what is it about those particular candidates that the reason why you think they would be superior candidates to be selected. So if you have 6 of those, you can certainly do that. If you have 1, you can certainly do that. Or if you don't want to do that at that time, you can skip it at that time. Then once everybody's gone through it, then we can do the hopper method if you prefer.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Yes, and again, that's my prerogative of what I would like, and it seems like there was 4 thumbs, so you also gave the option that you don't have to at this moment if you don't need to, because then you can move on to that hopper method that we have. And if you're not comfortable moving forward, then I can certainly start, and then you can pick up on that if that's okay with you.
I'm good with that if you'd like to start, Councilman Rodriguez.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Councilmember
okay?
Rodriguez,
All right.
we're going to go by district.
Perfect.
District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. As you all know, I want to thank you all for making it out. I had an opportunity to listen to a lot of you, and it also gave me an opportunity to try to articulate as to how I came up with my decision, and hopefully that explains to how we got here. First and foremost, as we prepare to award these retail cannabis licenses, I think it's important to expand my position to the selection process. As I articulated in the previous meeting, my initial discussions on cannabis were primarily on budgetary concerns. When I was elected in 2016, soon after we had a budget committee, and it seems like we were having a deficit. I had heard that the city was always great on their budget, balanced budget, but for some reason, this was the first time we heard deficit. So that soon prompted me to start asking questions. Well, what are we doing to add additional revenues to our coffers? Well, luckily, Prop 64 had passed. And that was the first thing that I asked, what about cannabis? Cannabis wasn't popular at the time, especially coming from a conservative town. But I think the voters of California had decided. So as I pressed my comments over and over and over, I think finally in 2018, we had enough votes to move on this. As we discussed ways to add revenues, my comments became more centered on cannabis industry. Initially, I envisioned a small number of licenses, and if you've been following this whole process, you'll note that this is where we spent some time trying to manage on how many, who would be involved, and the benefits to the community. As the process evolved, we made decisions to move from a lottery to a merit-based scoring. The process of establishing this regulatory ordinance is to provide an opportunity for our city to benefit not only from the added revenues, but all the direct and indirect benefits that this industry provides. Jobs, revitalization of our downtown, and more importantly, the community benefits. It is a bittersweet moment because most of you score well and very well. Unfortunately, 6 of the 19 applicants will be awarded. And what helps my decision-making is circling back to what I was motivated in the first place. First and foremost, to bring revenue to the city from cannabis retail sales, creating economic growth and opportunities. Second, to help revitalize downtown and complement the ongoing investment taking place on our State Route 145. Over $15 million of that money will help revitalize downtown, at least the main corridor, to bring attraction to downtown. Third, the location and access to its retail stores. And finally, to provide the community benefits as described in your applications. Benefits such as the local jobs, community engagement activities, and partnerships that can have a powerful impact in our community moving forward. Please note that for me, it's important that I deliver on the commitments I made when I ran as your council member. Economic growth and opportunity, public safety, and water. I want to make sure that I'm focused on these 3 commitments and that I put the interest of my residents first. An ability to operate a business of this nature is by far the top of my priorities. Embark, Culture Cannabis, Cannibal, and Stizzy would be my top 4. Due to their ability to operate a successful chain of stores, I'm confident that the city would experience a flux of sales tax revenues sooner than later. The old Citibank location, the former Chase Bank location, and the former Habitat for Humanity locations are constant reminders as much needed revitalization is needed downtown. These operators will help spruce up the buildings and begin operations sooner than later so that we don't saturate downtown. Stizzy would serve as an area on the country club. East of Eden would serve the exit on 16 and Kennedy and take advantage of that empty building now, the Farneses. And lastly, this is where it's kind of difficult for me because there's two candidates out there that I think would do a great job. One being Dispo, again downtown, and last, Lavish. Between those two, I'm not decided yet, but let me finish with this. I envision that Madera as a hub for the cannabis industry. State Route 99, airport, access to land designated to expand operations and grow facilities. I envision Madera expanding its industrial sites to accommodate a big operation that could bring well-paying jobs. That was my first vision of what I saw in the cannabis industry. Little did I know there's a lot more involved with it. But with that, I know we can lift our community by increasing our median levels of income. In doing so, it creates a multiplier effect. When folks have good paying jobs, it leads to discretionary income and it attracts bigger retail and more choices for our city residents. If one of the applicants are selected or not selected and would like to embark, no pun intended, on a bigger journey, I suggest you seek a vertical integrated process within our ordinance. I believe this body has done its due diligence throughout the process. We allowed our voters to decide the fate of cannabis by casting their ballots. We engaged the community in the entire process. We established a comprehensive regulatory ordinance that gave all applicants the opportunity to showcase their attributes and benefits. We have awarded 2 social equity licenses. We will award 6 additional retail licenses shortly. We allowed for public comment and public feedback. And lastly, we left an opportunity for those seeking to expand its operations and retain a retail license through our vertical integration process. With that, I think I described my 6, and there's a conflict between those 2, Lavish and Dispo. If I had to choose one today, I like the fact that Casey's is an abandoned building. And I think it needs, and it also serves as a location for people to access the retail stores. Those are my 6.
Councilmember Rodriguez, could you repeat those 6?
Yes. I said Embark, Culture Cannabis, Cannibal, Stizzy, East of Eden, and Lavish.
Okay. Thank you. Councilmember Montes.
Wow, this is thank you for that. I came in honestly wanting to hear what everybody has to say. This is a very tough decision, you know, and I thank Councilmember Rodriguez for articulating why he chose what he chose. I don't know if I'm not at 6 yet. So again, I would full disclosure, I wouldn't mind. I know everybody's gonna get pissed off right now. I wouldn't mind if we table this to the next meeting so we can have time to kind of digest. That's just me. I don't know if that's going to happen. Doesn't sound like it, but I know everybody else would be, oh, we got to come back. Hey, we got to come back. You guys can have fun joining us. But all the considerations that Councilmember Rodriguez made, you know, we want to make sure that we're having, that we have good establishments, and, you know, it is about revenue. I know a lot of times we did take a lot of heat. I know somebody came up and called us potheads because we were even considering it, and this is something that went to the community for a vote. But again, I'm not at 6 yet. The other thing that, you know, take into consideration, I know some of the applicants kind of touched on it, is encumbering one kind of area with concentrating all cannabis, right? You know, there's been a lot of push to be able to limit liquor stores, be able to limit, dollar stores that don't, they create food deserts, things like that. I know those have been conversations, not necessarily amongst this council, but those are things that kind of play in my mind. And so, but what I do want to start first off, and I know we didn't talk about this, but I think is, for me, taking off the people that did not show up. I know that was something that you had talked about. I wouldn't consider them, but Right now, again, I don't have six, but there are a few that did stand out. So Embark was one, that, good location. Downtown does need revitalization. There's a lot of people I think they had. I was trying to keep track of everybody that came and spoke. So I think they had the most public support. I know that's not the only thing, but I would be in favor of Embark at this point. I don't dislike the six that Councilmember Rodriguez did. Cannibal would be another one. And right now, culture would be the third, but that's as far as I'm going to go on my list. Just talk about those. But again, I'm not opposed to what was up, but I'll just do three for myself right now. Those are my comments, and that's why I chose what I chose. I think it's hard because I want to make sure that, again, it's not everything is encumbered in the same area, because that would be a little difficult. When we were actually going to pass the cannabis ordinance or put it into vote, one of the concerns people had was that, you're going to have 1 million cannabis shops, right? There's not going to be a limit. They're going to be everywhere. So we want to make sure that, we're sensitive to those concerns from the community. So I'll just stop there at those three, and then I'll pass it along.
Thank you. Councilwoman Evans.
Yes, thank you. Each and every one of you that took the time, that loves this city, that came out and just blessed us with your presence, as well as the ideas that you have for our fair city. For me, the first and foremost is the benefits to our city. For those of you that have been out there, as they said, boots on the ground, that have given back, that have done things for us, that have shown up and have reached out and touched, for me, children. That's my heart. My district is District 4, and there's no establishments that will be in my district, but at least I know you guys will be serving the district. Another thing is the location. I too am not wanting to just stockpile Yosemite. So I appreciate the different locations that you have all chosen. I'm a union brat, and I believe in the union. And for those of you that spoke on the union and fight for it, because so many years, there were so many times that people worked hard and were just cut off. Their lives were taken away from them because they had no one there to fight for them. I don't believe in crossing picket lines, and I stand firm. I will stand with a picket sign and fight all day long. So I am a union brat. Your volunteer program, I so appreciate you out in the community and you having volunteers. You offer volunteer programs within your establishments, and I so appreciate that. Your scoring. A lot of you took a lot of time, and I understand that, but not all scores were the same. And I so appreciate the high scoring, and all of you worked hard, and I know you did, and you put forth effort into beautifying the things that you're going to be doing. But what I'm worried about also is, are you going to come here, open up an establishment, have us come and ribbon cut and do all the beautiful things that have to be done, and stay here for a year or two and then leave? That's what I'm afraid of. So I have to think about those that have been here, that have given back, and that are diligent in the things that you do for our city. It's the heart of our city. Your salaries. It's a rough world out here. And we need to be able to pay our employees what they're worth. You give back. Let them know that you appreciate them. Because not every day a job is provided. The homeless live behind me. I see it all the time. So if there's jobs that you have that you can provide, I would so appreciate it. The medicinal medications of the cannabis. The young man touched my heart over there. My daughter had cancer. So I know what it is to have drops of CBD put in her mouth to relieve her from the pain that she had, to be able to give her an appetite to eat. So I thank all of you for just trying to come here and to do the things that you want to do. So I truly appreciate it. Mr. Mayor, I have my 6 and I'm ready. So with my 6, and please don't hate me after I say what I have to say, but I appreciate all of you. So I am going with culture. I'm going with mainstream. I'm going with stizzy. I'm going with lavish. I'm going with embark. And I'm going with Cali Oz. And those are my 6. And I thank all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Mejia.
Thank you, Mayor. I spoke to residents and existing business owners, and I also considered my own criteria to come up with my selections. That criteria includes, but is not limited to, what are the benefits to the employees? Are you offering living wages and benefits? Are you union friendly? Are you focused on hiring the people of Madera? Are you bringing good job opportunities? Not just job opportunities, but good living wage opportunities. I am a lifelong Madera resident, as many of you who applied stated that you are, and I know firsthand the slim possibilities for living wages that we face, which often drive us to work and inevitably spend in neighboring cities, all while we wish to see more in our own. As a business, have you demonstrated experience, sustainability, competitiveness, and viability to open and stay in business in Madera? I also considered no single concentration in one geographic area of Madera, especially in the arguably most economically disadvantaged area of Madera, where I grew up in, and which I now proudly represent, and that is downtown Madera. Are you being specific, and are you being transparent, and do you have an action plan in what your plans are for Madera moving forward? Not just what you've done, not just what you're doing now, but what are you committing to in the future for Madera and its residents? And I too would like to thank you for your interest and for your time in applying for a license here in Madera. Thank you, Mayor.
You're gonna pass on the. You're gonna pass on your 7.
I have 7. I didn't reduce it down to the 6, so I think I'll just wait for the hopper method.
Okay. Councilmember Villegas.
Thank you, Mayor Santos Garcia. I just want to say thank you to everybody to apply, everybody to the effort to try to get the business license, but not everybody's going to have the opportunity to reach to the point to get the license. But thank you everybody for all this effort to try to be in the business, in this kind of business. For this time, I think it's going to be a 6 and 2, right, Mr. Mayor?
Excuse me?
How many licenses we have? 6 and 2?
Yes.
Yeah, we have 6 and 2, so it's only 8 business licenses. So that's why I'm saying that not everybody is going to have the opportunity for this time, maybe in the future. But thank you for the commitment to be in the business. Thank you. And I always say that my favorites that I seen and a lot of people recommended, that was Mainstream and Lavish and Embark. That's my favorites. Thank you.
So 3? Is it Mr. Villegas, Councilman? 3?
Yeah, 3. Lavish, Embark, Mainstreams.
Okay. Ready?
Mayor, may staff make a clarification for the record, please?
Sure.
The standard retail micro business applications, which are for your consideration at this time, you have 6 awards. The additional 2 social equity awards have already been awarded.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe I should have said that better, but yeah, that's a total of 8. I believe that's what he was asking, but yes, absolutely right. So in 2018, when I ran for city council the first time, I saw a need to pass an ordinance allowing for the cultivation and retail sales of cannabis. At the time, past administrations had banned cannabis in Madera County. And so I felt a need to diversify our economy. And I felt that looking around the country and looking around California in particular, that there was a successful passing of ordinances in local communities that could benefit their communities. We've seen multiple examples of how that can be done, both in medicinal, recreational, economy, building up our economies, diversifying our economies. And I felt that that was a necessary step. Thank goodness that my fellow colleagues believed in that. And so then we voted to put it on the ballot. And in 2020, we passed and we eliminated the ban and we passed the ordinance to allow for the cultivation and sale of cannabis to benefit our community. And we actually passed it by 67%. When before the naysayers had says, no, there's no way that you're going to pass cannabis in Madera. So here we are today. Now, I want to echo the words of Councilmember Villegas in that we made an attempt to open up to 10 permits, but that was defeated. And so we ended up with 8. And so at this time, we have the 6, as Will said, and then we have the 2 equity permits to have out. There are a lot of good groups or businesses wanting to get a permit here in Madera. Unfortunately, we can't satisfy all of those. And so we have to make the difficult decision to whittle it down. But again, we don't know what the future holds. We don't know if someone will change their mind and say, I'm not going to be in the cannabis business, freeing up a permit. Maybe a business will go into something different, open up a slot. And so what I want to say to you is, if you're not picked as far as one of these to give a permit to at this time, take heart. There's always tomorrow. Be up and optimistic. I'm an optimist. And so if you are not chosen for whatever reason, right? And it might be just totally arbitrary, but take heart and then keep us in mind, because we definitely want you to thrive and be successful for our community. So having said that, this is not in order of, this is just 6, and I want to get the conversation going and move forward. So first of all is culture. I have 6. Embark, Cali, Steezy, Mainstream, and Lavish. Those are my 6. Shannon, do you want to?
Sure, Mayor.
We can give you a minute if you need.
No, I actually think based on what people preliminarily indicated, there's at least 4 votes already for Embark. And 1, 2, 3, 4 is Lavish as well.
So here's what council.
Oh, I am so sorry, Councilwoman.
That's okay. Mayor Pro Tem. Are you going to give me opportunity?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you,
Absolutely.
Mayor.
I didn't know
Garcia.
where you wanted to go. With
I just have to thank everyone for their time. I know it's been a long time coming and you've rented facilities for a very long time, a couple of years, I know. So thank you for that. I have always been a council member that looks at our staff and a consultant that took a lot of time. And this is something that they will know more than me. I'm an educator and I'm a council member who does the best that we can do because this is not our full-time job. If you know me, I take it seriously. I do 110% of what I'm asked to do. So I took your score sheets, all of you, I took your applications and I sat them down and I looked over and over and over on all the time that I have. And then I took the information I got from our staff, information we got from HDL, and then I looked at all of that. That's why I said really only 6. It's really hard to choose to narrow down because I had 10 and I know that's a lot to ask for. So I narrowed it down to 8, then I went to 7. And so these are my top 7 and not saying that nobody else is up there. And I looked at, again, the benefits to the community. I looked at the salaries. I looked at the contributions for the community. It's very difficult. Born and raised here, I want to do well for this community. I want to leave it better than I found it. That's the most important thing. I'm District 1. There's not very much happening over there. So I would take the advice of the council members that those districts will be in. So just not any further, I would, my top ones would be Accountable, Embark, Sizzy, Culture, Mainstream, Lavish, and Herbs.
I'm so sorry, Councilwoman. I can't write that quickly.
Oh.
Could you say it a little bit slower, please? Hannibal,
Embark, Sizzy, Culture, Mainstream, Lavish, and Herbs.
Thank you so much. Herbs.
you want to come back at all? No?
Yeah, I will add to my list Lavish. Hard guy, sorry. All great candidates.
I mean, I could save them. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And one more. I'm getting closer.
So could you repeat
Right.
your 4? So the 4, the Culture, Embark, Cannibal, and Lavish. Okay.
And okay, the ones that I had was East of Eden, Jiva, Embark, Stacey, Culture Cannabis, Body and Mind, and Dispo. Dispo, Body and Mind, Culture Cannabis, Stacey, Embark, Jiva, and East of Eden. So there should be 7.
Went one way and went the other way the next time.
I did.
I was trying to change it up.
See if you're paying attention.
You're gonna have to repeat.
Okay, start from the top. East of Eden, Jiva, Embark, Steezy, Culture Cannabis, Body and Mind, and Dispo. Or DSPO. Dispo.
So 7.
Yeah, 7. Mhm.
Mr. Villegas, do you want to go up to 6 or you want to keep it at only at 3?
Yeah, I can, yeah, also cultural cannabis in, Stalaces, Chine.
Stizzy? Is that Stizzy?
Shrine.
See,
Yeah,
there's 2
Chine.
names. Yeah, there's kind of confusing because there's two names.
Ownership, yeah.
So remember Villegas, under my list, you have Mainstream, you have Lavish, you have Embark, you have Culture, and you have Stizzy. Did you have a 6th one?
Got it. One more. I think it's 6. Yeah, I got Lavish, Embark, Mainstream. Oh, Kalios.
Cali?
Yeah.
Stizzy, Culture, and Cali. That's what I have for you. Right?
Mr. Mayor, we appear to have what we call in the Venn diagram overlap, which is a good thing. So perhaps, and rather than going through the full hopper method, we could just take a certain number of these and put them in the final hopper for now. And if you don't mind, I will ask if I can get, I think we have Embark, Lavish, Mainstream, and Stizzy that have at least 4.
Culture cannabis.
And Culture, I had 3 on Culture.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I have all 6.
Yeah.
6 or 7. I think all 7 on that.
Everybody's got Culture. Why am I not reading this right? Oh, I can't read my own writing. I'm so sorry. I miscounted. So we have Embark, Lavish, Mainstream, Stizzy, and Culture. And if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor, we'll go just one at a time with thumbs up and thumbs down, make sure I haven't missed anything. To put them in the final pot. Would that be okay with you, Mr. Mayor?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there at least 4 people with a thumbs up for Embark to put in the final pot? Yes. Okay. Is there at least 4 people with Lavish? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Is there at least 4 people with Stizzy? Hope I'm saying that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Is there at least 4 people with Culture? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we have 5 in the pot right now, or in the hopper. We just need, you can stay with those 5, or you can get 1 more and add into it.
Did you call Mainstream?
There's 4.
Wait, okay, I'm so sorry.
It's all right,
Late
bro. It's
night.
all right. It's all right.
Do we have 4 thumbs for Mainstream? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Mainstream. So we have 5 right now. The council can either stay with 5 or it can add an extra 1. And I don't know if you just want to nominate an extra 1, or we can just do the hopper method, go through and see if there's anything that we have 4 and narrow it down to 2 or 3. It's up to you.
I think we have 5 right now.
Yeah,
that
you have
everybody
5.
agrees with.
5
And
everyone
so
agrees
if we
with.
can go for 1 more, we can ask individually who they would like to add.
Maybe that's the fastest way too.
If I may, you also have several that have 2 to 3. Would you mind giving us who those are? Because so far I've only heard, maybe 10 or less than 10. And of those 10, I think there's already 5. And then the remaining either have 1, 2, or 3. So I see that Cannibal has 3. I see Cali Oz has 3. East of Eden has 2. And then that would be what I would suggest would be the next higher point items. I don't know if Dispo was one or two. I have Dispo for one.
Two for Dispo.
So then that would be on me.
So again, I don't want to jump into the council process, just trying to help out here. It looks like we have four: Cali, Oz, Cannibal, East of Eden, and Dispo. Would you like to go through the hopper method for them, or just somebody make a nomination for one? Thumbs up, thumbs down on each one and see if we can get four for the next hopper? Okay, starting at the top, are there four thumbs up to put in the next hopper for Cali Oz? So I see 1, 2. Okay, next one, Cannibal. Do we have four thumbs for Cannibal? 1, 2, 3, 4. So Cannibal goes to the next stage. Five. Okay, then East of Eden, do we have four thumbs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's
Four. Am I miscounting? Let me do it one more time. I'm so sorry. It is late at night. I'm getting punchy. Gotta watch.
Oh, yeah, it is 10 o'clock. I could have
Way
said
past my
that.
bedtime. So 4 still gets us where we need to. Dispo. Are there four thumbs up for Dispo going to the next level? I've got 1, I've got 2. So now it comes down between Cannibal and East of Eden. So which one would you prefer? Do you want to go down for that 6th slot, Cannibal or East of Eden, and you can just vote between the two?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will call, because it happens to be alphabetically first, Cannibal first. You can only vote for one, either Cannibal or East of Eden. So who would prefer Cannibal? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that means East of Eden would have less than 5. Okay, if that is the case, your list for the hopper, or whatever we're calling it, your final list is Embark, Lavish, Mainstream, Stizzy, Culture. Was that Cannibal, the last one we did?
Yes.
And Cannibal.
Cannibal.
In which case, if there is a motion to approve staff's resolution with the addition of those 6 names, you can be complete tonight.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Call it, Mayor.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much for that.
Mayor, can we provide one parting announcement?
Excuse me, we have one more. Excuse me, folks, could you hold it down? We have one more, one more announcement, please.
Order.
For those awarded CCB permits, please look at the resolution provided with the council packet this evening. There are timelines to make sure that everyone is doing their due diligence, and these awarded applications will progress and not withhold others from opportunities. So please look at the resolution, the timelines included, and you're welcome to reach out to me with any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.
Is it? We still got closed session.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Closed session.